Good afternoon and welcome to Atlanta. As tonight we have a special mashup on the docket. It is the South Carolina Stingrays coming to town for the first time this season, taking on the only undefeated team left in the ECHL, the Atlanta Gladiators, who sit at 5-0. Hi everybody, Guy Chiarenza with you here today, along with Andrew Fleming. We've got an excellent one here on tap for you here today, as the Gladiators will look to improve to 6-0, their best start since the 2023-24 season, in which they started 8-0. Andrew, they've done it in a variety of ways. Last night we saw the Gladiators do it in probably the oddest fashion that we've seen them do it all season long, but Atlanta, with a 4-2 victory yesterday over Savannah, cruises into today's matchup at 5-0. But interesting enough, Andrew, last night the Gladiators get help on the special team side again, but they do score 2 short-handed goals in 6 seconds. Incredible stuff last night from the Gladiators.
Yeah, it wasn't the special teams help you would have thought they would have had last night. Gladiators ended up going 0 for 4 on the power play, but 5 for 5 on the penalty kill with those 2 short-handed goals within 6 seconds of each other.
Gladiators again come into today's matchup with a 5-0 record, taking on the reigning Brabham Cup champions, the South Carolina Stingrays, who were the regular season champs last season. South Carolina with a new head coach behind the bench this year. They currently started off 4-2, but are coming off of a 4-0 loss last night in Greenville. Got to think that the Stingrays have a bad taste in their mouth with the way last night went. They will try and bounce back here today against a Gladiators squad that is firing on all cylinders. And speaking of that, the Gladiators are coming off of a 4-2 victory yesterday over the Savannah Ghost Pirates, as it was Joey Cipollone getting bumped up from the 4th line to the 1st line that got the scoring started for Atlanta last night. Great goal from Cipollone, tic-tac-toe passing, one-timer from Sippy between the circles. He fires it home for his first of the year, 6:15 into the 1st, and the Gladiators are off and running. We mentioned it was an odd game last night, and it is rare that you see a penalty shot opportunity. Gladiators did get one. Isaac Walter had a chance, but was unable to score. Glads went to the power play after that, couldn't convert. Then they went to the penalty kill, and it really was a make-or-break moment in that game where Ghost Pirates had a chance to tie it up. Gladiators needed the kill. Well, they did that and then some. Atlanta gets 2 short-handed goals on that same penalty kill back-to-back at 6 seconds apart. Chad Nychuk scores the first one, and the second one was scored by Ryan Nolan, who finishes the night with 1 goal and 1 assist. And interestingly enough about the Nychuk shorthanded goal, he's the only defenseman in the ECHL who has scored a shorthanded goal this season. Gladiators had a 3-0 lead through 1 period of play. Roll into the 2nd period, Savannah bites back. They do get a goal to make it 3-1. Move to the 3rd period. Savannah makes it 3-2, but the Gladiators hold firm and get an insurance goal from Mickey Burns. They put it to a 4-2 final. And Andrew, as you mentioned, the special teams were a big factor, but really it's been the Gladiators' goaltending that has been great as of late. Ethan Heiner stopped 32 of 34 last night. Tonight we will see TJ Semptimphelter. Last time we saw him, he blanked the Florida Everblades last Friday night in a 2-0 Gladiators victory. Andrew, what are you looking for out of TJ Semptimphelter here today?
Yeah, I'm just looking for Semptimphelter to keep doing what he's been doing all season. Semptimphelter, so far this year, 2-0 with a .5 goals against average and a .977 save percentage. That's just insanely good numbers for a goaltender so far this season. So I'm just looking for Semptimphelter to keep doing what he's doing. He's got to be seeing the puck well. He's making the first saves. He's battling. He's fighting. He's just got to keep with his status quo, and he should have a good day today.
TJ Semptimphelter leads the league in goals against this season so far. Again, half a goal against per average. Phenomenal stuff from TJ Semptimphelter. He will look to improve his record to 3-0 on the season. As we got a good one here on tap between the Gladiators and the Stingrays. We'll be back in 1 moment here on the pregame show here from Duluth, as we're coming up on action between the Gladiators and the Stingrays.
This Thanksgiving, you can count on Kroger. You get up high quality and down low prices. Up high quality with our exclusive brands and down low prices on all your Thanksgiving needs. Because at Kroger, quality and low prices always come together. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Breaking news.
Desserts are now
Desserts are popping up on Crumble's menu.
all types of dessert.
More than just cookies. The lineup changing weekly.
Desserts now in rotation.
Welcome back to Gas South Arena, the venue here today for the Gladiators' sixth game of the season, taking on the South Carolina Stingrays for the first of 9 meetings this season. 5 games will be played in Charleston, 4 games on the season series will be played here at Gas South Arena between these two clubs. Again, we mentioned yesterday that South Carolina is coming off of a 4-0 loss to the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. South Carolina can't be too happy about that here today, Andrew. So what do the Gladiators need to do right here out of the gate to make sure that they get the first goal again?
Yeah, you know South Carolina's going to come into this game wanting to swing hard and swing fast. They're going to want to come out there, set the tone, try and score a couple early here. But if you're the Gladiators, you got a nice home win last night. You're just going to kind of want to survive these first 10 minutes. Let South Carolina come out. They're going to try and do their thing. If you can just defend well for these first 10 minutes, get back on the attack, push your agenda, I think that's what you're trying to do here today if you're Coach Ginn's Gladiators.
Gladiators have scored first in each of their last 4 games, and Atlanta does have a perfect record when they do score the first goal of the game. So coming into today's matchup, that first goal could be all important. But Andrew, yesterday, special teams really stole the show for the Gladiators. What did you like about what Atlanta was able to do on the penalty kill, first and foremost, and then on the power play? Even though they did not score, the Gladiators did cook up some good chances.
Yeah, on the penalty kill yesterday, I thought that the Gladiators did a really good job of keeping all the Ghost Pirates opportunities outside the dots. They weren't giving up inside icing. If you're on the power play, you want to try and get the puck to the front of the net, into that bumper spot, looking for close shots in on the goal. But the Gladiators did a really good job of forcing point shots, keeping everything to the outside, and even I thought they did a really good job in the neutral zone of not allowing the Ghost Pirates to gain clean entries into the Gladiator zone with possession. As for the power play, Gladiators 0 for 4 yesterday. Their first 3 weren't really clicking too well, but I thought their last power play, they had some good possession in the zone, some good zone time, had some good opportunities that I thought created some good momentum for the Gladiators there in the third period. But overall, I'd like to see them improve a little bit on the power play here today.
The Gladiators have done a good job scoring first period goals this season. In fact, that has been the Gladiators' best period in terms of goal differential so far this year. Atlanta has outscored their opposition 6-1 in the first periods this season. So we talk about the Gladiators getting that first goal. That's important too. Atlanta's done a good job of winning the first period, but South Carolina, not so much. They've only got 1 first period goal so far this season, and so it'll be interesting to see Gladiators, if they can get off to a good start here in the first period, might be able to cruise to victory. But the other interesting thing about the Stingrays is that they've only given up 2 goals against in the first period, despite low scoring output. So you see that stat, what do you figure there?
Yeah, I feel like we'll probably have a pretty low event first period here to start. So, you know, both these teams are going to try and come out and get to their game quick. Obviously, South Carolina losing 4-0 yesterday in Greenville. They're going to want to get to their game and probably score more than 1 first period goal here today. But if you're the Gladiators, you just need to be able to defend well today. Keep everything to the outside as they did yesterday. I thought they did a really good job of that yesterday.
Gladiators trying to improve to 6-0 here today with the win over the Stingrays, but South Carolina not going to make it easy on them. They were the defending Brabham Cup champions, best regular season team last year. Let's get to the starting lineups between these two squads. We'll start with the visiting South Carolina Stingrays. South Carolina is playing in its 5th road game this season. This is game number 7 for the Stingrays, currently walking to the building with a record of 4-2. South Carolina is 2-2 on the road. Getting the start at left wing is number 43, Patrick Guzzo. Standing at 6'3", 198 pounds. Guzzo has 2 assists in 6 games on the season. His starting center here tonight is number 77, Ryan Hofer, standing at 6'4", 189 pounds. A native of Winnipeg, Manitoba. Still looking for his first point on the year. And getting the start at right wing for South Carolina is number 26, Caden Bolson, standing at 6'3", 192 pounds. 1 goal, 1 assist on the campaign in 6 games for Bolson. Interesting note on that line, some big, tall guys, each one at least 6'3" or taller. The South Carolina Stingrays are dressing 7 defensemen here tonight, so they're opting for an extra defenseman rather than having that 12th forward. So it'll be interesting to see how that pays off for the Stingrays here today. They will start their 3rd pairing here this afternoon against the Gladiators as Connor Mayer, standing at 5'11", 185 pounds, wearing number 4, gets the start at left defense. On the right side, it is number 3, Nolan Krenzen, standing at 5'9", 181 pounds. Getting the start to round out the starting 5 skaters for South Carolina, as he is playing in his 4th game this season, still looking for his first point. Getting the start in net for the South Carolina Stingrays is number 34, Mitch Gibson, standing at 6'1", 187 pounds. The native of Phoenixville, Pennsylvania, is off to a really good start to the season. 2-0 record, 1.0 goals against average, and a .962 save percentage. He's the best statistical goaltender that the Stingrays have on their roster right now. He will get the start against the red-hot Atlanta Gladiators, as the head coach for South Carolina in his first year with the club is Dave Warsofsky. Assistant coaches are Scott Davidson and Mike Hamilton. Starting lineup for your Atlanta Gladiators. They're going to send out the top line. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Number 16, Cody Sylvester, gets the start at left wing, standing at 5'11", 192 pounds, playing his 13th season of professional hockey. Sylvester had a good game last night, factoring in on the Cipollone goal, now up to 2 assists in 5 games on the year. Down the middle, it's number 27, Mike McNamee, standing at 6 foot even, 200 pounds, a native of Perth, Ontario. Came out of retirement after 4 years playing in a band and serving as assistant coach at his alma mater at Carleton. Ends up coming back, gets the hockey itch, has 2 assists in his last 5, including 1 last night on the Cipollone goal. And speaking of Joey Cipollone, he gets the start at right wing, wearing number 71, standing at 5'11", 185 pounds from Purchase, New York. Cipollone's one-time bomb from between the circles was a beauty. He made his impact on the first line immediately felt. Cipollone has 1 goal in 5 games. Look to continue that hot play from last night here today. Starting with defense pairing is number 39, Chad Nychuk, standing at 6'1", 194 pounds. The Rossburn, Manitoba product is currently under contract with the Milwaukee Admirals, the Gladiators AHL affiliate. Nychuk has been excellent to start the season, has gone above and beyond expectations. 2 goals and 4 assists for 6 points for Nychuk on the year. He's tied for the team lead in points, and he is the league leader in plus-minus this season as a +8 entering the day. His starting D partner is number 21, Jack Mateer, standing at 6'6", 205 pounds. Native of Sault Ste. Marie, playing in his 4th game since being reassigned by the Admirals to the Gladiators. He is under contract with the Nashville Predators, but was assigned from Milwaukee to Atlanta by Nashville 4 games ago. Getting the start in net for Atlanta, coming off a shutout victory over a week ago last Friday in Florida, is number 35, TJ Septemfelter, standing at 6'1", 190 pounds. A native of Marlton, New Jersey, has dazzled to start the season. Incredible stuff, 2-0 record, half a goal against average, a .977 save percentage. He is also under contract with the Milwaukee Admirals. He has been stellar. He leads the league in goals against average entering the day. Gladiators head coach and director of hockey operations is Matt Ginn. Assistant coach is Zach Vanel, and the Gladiators are basically dressing the same lineup as they did last night, but 1 change. Andrew Jarvis back in the lineup here today. He'll be paired up with number 2, Brendan Les on the second D pairing. Anthony Furiolo is out. Scratches for the Gladiators are number 55, Peter Morgan, number 23, Riley Appelt, number 11, Zach Yoder, number 12, Anthony Furiolo, and number 20, Connor Galloway, as well as number 74, Dylan Carabia. There'll be a 3-man officiating crew here tonight, led by Jamie Pavia, who we saw last night in the game against the Ghost Pirates. 2 different linesmen here today, as Ken Radolinski, wearing number 64, is one of our linesmen, and the other one is number 81, Josh Heineman. Gladiators did show that they can get scrappy last night, as there was a bit of a scuffle at the end of the second period, and in the third period, Some haymakers were thrown. We had some guys really getting into it. And that was interesting because that was the first time we'd seen the Ghost Pirates this season. Took them about a period and a half to really start getting the blood flowing and temper starting to flare. Andrew, I'm wondering if we see something similar here today against the Stingrays.
Yeah, it'll be definitely interesting to see here today. But I thought the Gladiators did a really good job yesterday of sticking together. We saw at the end of that, or towards the end of the second period, Kalen Lynn throws a big hit. Those Pirates came back at him down towards their net, tried to scuffle him up a little bit. The Gladiators came in. Conroy ends up throwing some rights. The Gladiators came in to defend Lynn, and I love seeing that from this team defending the young kid.
Get to the keys of the game presented by Beaver, Toyota, and Mazda up and coming. Matt Ginn, Gladiators head coach, keys to the games. Number 1, manage the puck. Gladiators did a pretty good job of doing that yesterday. Trying to keep the status quo here against the Stingrays. Second was to take away time and space. I thought Atlanta did a really good job of that last night, keeping the Ghost Pirates through the perimeter. Different opponent here today in the Stingrays. Going to be a different game plan from South Carolina as opposed to Savannah. We'll see how the Gladiators fare in trying to keep them to the perimeter again here today. And finally, the third key is to win the net front. Trying to make life very difficult for the Stingrays netminder here today, Mitch Gibson, making his third start of the year. Coming up next is the national anthem.
Please remove your caps and stand with hands over hearts as we honor America and all of the brave men and women who serve our country with the singing of the national anthem performed by Lake Wynwood Elementary School. That's right, a nice round of applause, and very nicely done. Thank you, Lake Wynwood Elementary School.
We are all set and ready to go from Gas South Arena here in Duluth, Georgia. Gladiators and the Stingrays for the first time this season. I'm Guy Chiarenza alongside Andrew Fleming. Should be a good matchup here today, Andrew. Reigning Brabham Cup champions going up against the Gladiators. Could be quite the spectacle here on a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, I'm excited to get going here. I'm excited to really see what Felter does today. He's been one of the best goalies in the league to start the year so far, so I'd like to really see him keep that going and have another strong game here today against South Carolina.
Last time we saw TJ Felter, he stopped 25 of 25 against the Florida Everblades, the reigning South Division champions, in their own building in Estero in a 2-0 victory last Friday. He gets the start here today as the Gladiators are wearing white jerseys with blue numbers and Gladiator gold trim. It's the first time the Gladiators are breaking out these white jerseys here today. I think they look really sharp. I've been waiting for these to come out. I'm so happy that we're wearing them today. South Carolina wearing a blue jersey with white numbers and red trim mixed in. They are the affiliate of the NHL's Washington Capitals, and that jersey that they're wearing here today is very reminiscent of the blue W jersey that the Capitals have worn in years past. Their starting netminder here today is Mitch Gibson, wearing number 34. He's playing in his third. He's making his third start here today with a 1.0 goals against average and a 962 save percentage. As Mike McNamee will meet Ryan Hofer at center circle. Let's get things started here today. Puck is dropped. McNamee wins it. And we're underway here on a Sunday afternoon in Duluth, Georgia. Matier has it off the face-off, returns it to McNamee, who won it. South Carolina clogging up the neutral zone here to start. Atlanta will try and weasel out of their own end. Errant pass from Matier ends up going down as an icing against the Gladiators 18 seconds in.
Yeah, it looks like early on here, South Carolina's going to try and clog up that neutral zone. They're sitting a forward back there, so they're kind of going 3 wide in the neutral zone there. They're going to look to try and clog up this neutral zone, not let the Gladiators get cleanly into their zone.
Face-off to the right of TJ Semptenfelter. Impressive start to his first full professional season. Played 1 game with Bridgeport in the AHL last year. University of North Dakota product. Brenzen at the right point, dishes it down low. Olsen is there for South Carolina to rotate it up to Mayer. He slams it off the end wall. Brenzen will pinch down. Slipping out of that pile is Chad Nychuk, leader in plus-minus amongst defensemen as a loose puck works its way to Semptenfelter. He's able to snatch it with his glove, and that should go down as his first stop of the day, 44 seconds into period 1.
Yeah, Semptenfelter getting a good opportunity against early there. Tough turnover by the Glads there behind their own net. Semptenfelter ready, watching the play, makes a nice glove save there to keep this game tied early.
Faceoff will be to his right. On comes the second line of Kalen Lind, Louis Boudon, and Ryan Francis for Atlanta. Louis Boudon will take this faceoff. He is a point-per-game player so far this year, 1 goal and 4 assists in the first 5 games this year for Atlanta. Off the faceoff victory, Jarvis tries to pelt it to the neutral zone, hits Lind in the backside. He's able to grasp it and meander his way through the neutral zone and bounce to the outside. Puts one on goal where it's sticked away by Gibson. Loose puck on the near circle. South Carolina will skate it over to the far wall and bang it out to the neutral zone. Boudon is there for Atlanta. Meets it at the red line. Stingrays get it back. They'll tap it off the near side wall where Brendan Less will scoop it up for Atlanta. Jarvis takes it in, returns to the lineup after missing yesterday's game. Wheels his way along the near side boards. Ends up drawing a penalty because of that. Just 1 minute and 28 seconds into the contest, the Gladiators are going to the Eco-Electric power play.
Yeah, good skate there by Jarvis, drawing that penalty. Skating up the left side, cuts outside. Webb couldn't keep up with them, ends up getting a stick in his feet. Gladiators going to the power play here early.
It is a tripping call on Riley Webb. Mike McNamee will take the face-off. It is won by the Gladiators. Francis finds McNamee below the goal line. Passes up to the right circle for Sylvester. As Nychuk up high, rushes it towards his left. Boudon tries to put it on goal. Ends up hitting the stick of a Stingray and going over to the near corner. Sylvester on the far side. It's battled up by 2 Stingrays, and South Carolina will clear. Atlanta comes charging right back in. Boudon on the left wing wall. Swerves it below the goal line. McNamee was racing after it, but the Stingrays just a step ahead. They do clear. 1:25 left on the man advantage for Atlanta. Nychuk to the right side. Francis enters, finds Boudon in the middle, delays and shoots. Blocker save made by Gibson. South Carolina takes the rebound and pumps it out to the neutral zone where Nychuk handles. Nychuk has done a good job of quarterbacking the power play so far this season. This Atlanta power play coming into today, operating at 26.7%. South Carolina penalty kill, 78.3%. As players come together at the South Carolina end wall, Stingrays chuck it out of play. That was Nolan Krenzen on the play. Time will stop with 48 seconds left on the Gladiators power play.
Yeah, I like what this Gladiators second unit has done so far. Good forecheck there. Stingrays King had it left side of his zone there, looking to get a clear. Young picked it off, and actually they got a pretty good chance out of it there. So good forecheck by the Gladiators. Leads to an offensive zone face-off here with a chance on the power play here for the second unit.
Gladiators win the face-off on the right side. Walter down low. Stop attempt from Lind. Stopped by Gibson. Puck is loose. Atlanta tries to jam it in. Puck goes below the goal line. Lind's got it back. Looking for Cipollone on the near wall. Play goes to the corner. They bundle up there. Tier keeps it in at the left point. Throws it across to Walter. Has a man down low. Lind across. One too many passes. Was looking for Alex Young. The Stingrays are able to get in front. Defensive play made by DJ King.
Would have liked to see Lind go with that stuff attempt again like he did earlier in the power play there. He tries to force a pass to Young. Pucks ends up getting cleared by the Stingrays, and they killed this off.
Power play comes to an end. Stingrays come in and work their way to the Gladiator end wall. Atlanta able to skate out of it. Burns on the left wing. It's stood up by Mayer. Puck loose in the neutral zone. Burns has got it back. Over the red line, turns it over again. Bolson over to the left side. Stingrays flip it towards Semptimphelter. He gloves it and freezes.
Yeah, Gladiators trying to do a little too much getting out of their own zone there. Forcing a couple passes in the neutral zone when they could really just skate to the red line, dump it in, go forecheck. But they're trying to force some passes here, and it's leading to turnovers that are allowing the Stingrays to get possession in the Gladiators' defensive zone here.
Face off to the right of Semptimphelter. Boudon tied up. Gets it to Robillati. Lifts it to the blue line. Stays in the Gladiators zone. Behind the back pass by Francis. Finds an open man, and the Gladiators are able to trickle it in on Gibson. Stingrays are offside. Just a hair under 4.5 minutes gone by here in the first. Jarvis has it. On the face-off victory for Atlanta. Sylvester taps it into the attacking zone. Stingrays scoop it up. Romain Rodzinski tries to get it out to Gladiator territory. Hammers it off the near side glass and does so. Puck able to trickle its way over to a Stingray. Mitch Dielstra able to shimmy in there. Pinard. Knives towards the net. Puck rolls in on Semptimphelter, and he will cover exactly 5 minutes into the first.
Yeah, I thought Jarvis and Les as a deep pair there did a really good job keeping Pinard to the outside there. Pinard trying to cut inside, get a shot on goal there. But Les and Jarvis, too, good sticks. And Pinard got a little weak fumble shot in on net there that Semptimphelter didn't really have to fight hard to save there.
Face off to the left of Semptimphelter. Won by the Gladiators again. They've done a good job of winning faceoffs so far here today. Dump and chase. Lynn gets to it. Beats out Riley Webb to the puck. He's able to locate Walter. Working in the corner, returns it to Lynn below the goal line. On his forehand, plays it from low to high. Matier juggles, puts it towards the middle. Pinballs off a few skates. Young down low, tries to sneak it in. Hits a stick and goes wide. Nychuk keeps it in on the pinch. Lynn down low, looks to center. Kind of rolled off of his stick. And the Stingrays will clear. Shot count reads 5-2 in favor of Atlanta. Gladiators have been outshot in their last 3 games, but again, walk into today's game with a perfect 5-0 record. Nolan on the zone entry, able to escape the fray. Finds Burns, who rolls it around to the right point for Robillati. Finds Nolan in the middle. He'll hold and shoot, and Gibson is able to eat it up. with 14:04 left in the first.
Nice little setup there by this fourth line for the Gladiators. Burns rims it around up top to Robilotti. Robilotti, the D-man, walks down the wall a little bit. Ryan Nolan, the forward, comes up, posts up in the high slot, gets a good look on net there. I like what I saw from this fourth line last night. Nolan with a goal and an assist. I'd like to see him have another good day here today.
Ryan Nolan, again, as you mentioned, did have 1 goal and 1 assist. That was his first ECHL multi-point game, and he was the first star of the night. Conroy tries to sneak towards the net. He gets cut off on his way there. He's able to pick the puck back up in the far corner, though it's quickly contested. South Carolina wins that battle, and they skate down through the neutral zone. Stingrays don't have numbers, so it's a dump and chase. Puck goes over to the near corner, is able to leak free. Kupka looks to center, makes its way to the high point, where a shot gets deflected wide of Semptimfelter. Thinking that was Fusco for South Carolina. Bernard's got it in the neutral zone. Looks to find a man streaking ahead. Kupka on his backhand, shut down by Semptimfelter on the soft shot. Fusco to the middle. Bernard again. Back to Fusco down low. Below the goal line. Goes around the net. Pops it on the far side. Moves it from low to high. Right side one-timer kicked away by Semptimfelter. And the Gladiators will push it through the neutral zone. And no icing. Atlanta able to make a change. And that no icing was huge. Gladiators were kind of skating on their heels there after a good offensive shift from South Carolina.
Yeah, that fourth line got cut out there for a while.
Fresh bodies on for Atlanta. South Carolina has some on as well. One of those being Ben Howerchuk. Moves it to the line. Krenzen across for a shot. Blocked by Jarvis. Held in by South Carolina. They try and put it towards the goal again. Gets bodied over to the far corner where a big hit is thrown by Jarvis. Sends down Stan Cooley to the ground. Stingrays again with another good shift here in the Gladiators zone, continuing to work it around Atlanta ice. Cooley from low to high and back around the other way. Stingrays throw a reverse play into the Gladiators side as they now have it on the near side. Man in the middle, delay and a shot from Mayer. Blocker saves Semptimfelter. He's been busy as of late. Atlanta tries to get it out. Lind does so. And the Gladiators will get another change in. Nychuk finds Mateer. Gladiators stretch it to the neutral zone and pitch it into South Carolina ice. Glads will look to get a good zone and good shift in the offensive zone here in response to South Carolina's last two. Sylvester in the top line out there as the captain plays it to the line. Nychuk, long shot, deflected wide of Gibson. In front was McNamee. In the pregame, Mackin talked about winning the net front. Saw a moment of it there. Sylvester's shot is blocked. South Carolina pushes it to the neutral zone, developing 2-on-1. Left side to the middle, poke check. Semptimfelter breaks up a dangerous play. Now Atlanta will take its chances on a rush. McNamee gains the neutral zone and pops it into the glove of Gibson on a pop fly. Time will stop 11:10 into the first period and sends us to our first media timeout. No score between the Gladiators and the Stingrays. 11:10 left in the first period. We're back after a word from our local sponsors.
Feels like everyone's trying to copy the $5 biggie bag. So how can you spot a knockoff? It won't taste like Wendy's. This job is easy. When the deal is as fresh as the meal, gotta be Wendy's.
Gotta be fresh.
Gwinnett Fire and Emergency Services is ready to answer the call, but we'd rather prevent them. Our free home safety survey includes checking smoke alarms, identifying common hazards, and reviewing your family's home escape plan. Schedule yours today.
We are back here in Atlanta. Face off to the left of Gibson. He has made 7 saves so far here today. Sentenfelter has made 4. Still no score between the Gladiators and the Stingrays. Conroy on the left side looks to center. Off the stick of Young, broken up by the Stingrays. South Carolina moving in transition. They'll pump it down to the end wall. Robelati gets there for Atlanta. Gladiators tango for it. They are able to escape. Walter drifting through the neutral zone, locates Denemy on the left side. Off the wall, back to Walter. Swedish forward rubbed off the puck. South Carolina clears to the neutral zone. Atlanta will drive it in. Stingrays with the puck. Mentioned at the top of the open in the pregame show, Stingrays have only scored 1 first-period goal so far this season. They've also only allowed 2, so we figured it may be a low-event first period here today between these two squads. And it's shaping up to be just that. Jarvis prods it up ahead. Scardina looking for some room on the near side. He's squeezed off the puck. Stingrays dump it down. No icing as Jarvis gets there. Rolls it over to Les. Puck turned over. Long shot deflected wide of Sentenfelter. Atlanta squibs it out to the neutral zone. Stingrays possess again. And it feels like puck possession is going to be a big key here today between these two teams. As South Carolina lifts it in and gets it to the end wall. Wilkins gives chase after his own dump in. Gladiators are able to get in front of it. They roll out to the neutral zone. Nolan flips it again into the glove of Gibson. This time he keeps the play alive. Puck comes out to the neutral zone. Gladiators drive it back in. A lot of dump and chase action here today. As South Carolina through the neutral zone draws a penalty. Looks like Howard-Chuck was tripped up. And the Gladiators will touch the puck. And for the first time here today, they will go to the Beaver, Toyota, and Mazda penalty kill.
That was a good move by Howard-Chuck. Cut to the inside. Brian Francis going in to try to poke the puck away from the stick. Gladiators going to be short here.
Gladiators headed to the penalty kill. When we come back, still a scoreless game here from Gas South Arena.
Can be dangerous and cause serious injury.
This Thanksgiving, you can count on Kroger. You get up high quality and down low prices. Up high quality with our exclusive brands. And down low prices on all your Thanksgiving needs. Because at Kroger, quality and low prices always come together. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Gladiators get caught on a tripping call. They head to the Beaver, Toyota, and Mazda penalty kill for the first time here today. Went an impressive 4 for 4 last night, including 2 shorthanded goals. We'll see if the Gladiators can back that up with another good performance on the PK here today. Starts with this face-off to the right of Sentenfelter. Cipolone will take the face-off and win it for the Gladiators. McTeer over to Denemy. It's an opening clear for the Gladiators as they shuffle it down to Gibson. Stingrays come in, push it to the right side. Pinard up to the line for Mayer. Over to the left side now, looking for Wilkins. Has him, back to the line for Mayer. Return to Wilkins at the half wall, wanted to push it back. Denemy read the play, gets in front of the puck. Stingrays able to keep a hand on the puck. Mayer at the line, brushes it towards his right for Pinard. Cross-ice pass, broken up by Denemy. Charging towards it, tries to get out of the zone. Next best thing happens, and the puck goes into the Gladiators bench. We get a stoppage of play with 1:19 left on the penalty to Francis.
What a great shift for Carson Denemy. Big clear to open the kill there, and then 2 great plays breaking up passes with his stick. That one forcing out a play, being able to get off the ice and get a change here. Great shift for Denemy.
Face-off to the right of Sempton-Felter. Louis Boudon will take this face-off for the Gladiators as the second penalty kill unit comes out. Burns gets to a loose puck, able to slam it to the neutral zone a little bit more. Boudon's going to skate into this short-handed for the Gladiators, all the way in the near corner of the South Carolina zone. Boudon being a bit of a pest here, shaving time off the penalty to Francis. 1 minute left on that. Boudon does have 2 short-handed assists so far this year. Scardina tries to drive it out of his own zone. Right side shot from Pinard, steered away by Sempton-Felter. South Carolina pitches it to the near corner. Conroy's there defending for Atlanta. He's able to lift it out for another Atlanta clear.
Great clear there by Conroy. His first one got blocked and kept in the zone. Puck came back to him. Didn't make a mistake that time. Got a nice clear there on the kill.
South Carolina power play entering the day, operating at 20%. Gladiator penalty kill, 88.2%. And this Atlanta PK, now up to 6th best in the ECHL. And they're showing every bit of it here as they're able to shut down the Stingrays on a zone entry under 10 seconds left on the penalty to Francis. And it looks like the Gladiators are going to get the job done. Back to even strength. Out of the box is Francis. South Carolina with a try. And a shot from Fusco goes off the crossbar. And you can hear it from up here. Francis on the left wing dumps it in. He'll head to the bench. And the Gladiators will try and get back to business. Shot count reads 8-5 in favor of Atlanta. South Carolina dumps it in. Nychuk to the puck. Finds an open man. Gladiators move to the neutral zone. Nychuk on the left side plays it across. And oh, the backdoor attempt just goes wide. Second opportunity stopped by Gibson. The goal light went on, but it did not come anywhere close to ending up in the back of the net. So no goal there.
Yeah, tough start for the guy working the goal light there.
A little bit jumpy there. Good chance for the Gladiators, though. Easily their best of the day. South Carolina flings it into Gladiator territory. Cooley around the boards to the far wall. Cipollone tries to keep it moving out to the neutral zone. Ends up seeing the puck boomerang back where it's gathered by Conroy. Mateer jolts it to the neutral zone. Off the stick of Cipollone it goes to the end wall. After it is McNamee for the Gladiators. Able to connect with Sylvester. Prods it over to the left wing wall for Conroy. Conroy pinned up, able to get a touch on it to McNamee below the goal line. He finds Sylvester on the far side. Sylvester back to McNamee in the corner. Outmuscled by 2 Stingrays. And South Carolina will push it out of their own zone. 5:30 left in the first period. Still no score here from Gas South Arena. Give and go pass. Here's Cipollone on the right side. Tried to take a shot. It was blocked and got directed to the corner by Connor Moore. Cipollone still hungry and aggressive. Tries to get the puck back. Ended up pushing it off the backside of the net. Puck stays in the offensive zone. Fresh off the bench is Boudon, putting on some more pressure. Gladiators trying to get a line change in, and they will, as the Stingrays will wedge it into Gladiator ice. Under 5 minutes left in the first period. Cooley, drop pass. Gladiators able to break that up. Prenzen to the middle. Off the stick of Dielstra. And around behind Sempton-Felter. Locus plays it up top. Long shot into traffic. They whack at it. Gladiators able to push it to Atlanta. Over on the far wall. Conroy's lost a stick. Pushing and shoving. Gladiators able to get a touch on it. Throw it across ice. Will scamper towards it. South Carolina almost ends them in their own zone, but the Gladiators able to get possession.
Good stick by Kalen Lynn to force that puck out. His line was cut out there for a while. Now they get to get off for a change.
Here comes Scardina from the right side. Fires it into the gullet of Gibson. Clock stops with 4 minutes left in the first. Still no score here from Gas South Arena. We're back in a moment after a word from our local sponsors.
Desserts are now
Desserts are popping up on Crumbles menu.
all types of dessert.
More than just cookies.
Welcome back here to Gas South Arena. Second game of a three-game homestand for the Gladiators. Won yesterday 4-2 over Savannah. South Carolina in here today, and on Wednesday they'll welcome Greenville at 10:30 in the morning for the Education Day game. Atlanta goes to work in the offensive zone. One-timer between the circles by Nolan is snared by Gibson.
Yeah, good shot from the point there by Mateer. Riley Webb on South Carolina blocking that shot. Comes right back out to Ryan Nolan, who puts a one-timer on net. But Gibson was ready for it. Nice save there using his chest.
Gladiators up to 10 shots on the board here today. 10-5 in favor of Atlanta. But still no goals coming on either side. Scoreless with 3:45 left in the first. Stingrays to the middle. Shot from the right point by Webb. Glove down by Semptimphelter. He paws it down for a stoppage with 3:36 left in the first.
Yeah, a little makeshift line there. Looks like we had Alex Young, Mickey Burns, and Ryan Nolan out there. So a little mix up between that third and fourth line. We'll see if that sticks here today.
Gladiators looking to get some offense flowing here. Had 3 first period goals yesterday. That was their most productive first period this season. 3 goals was the most first period goals the Gladiators have scored so far in a game this year. So far here today, shaping up to be one of the most unproductive in terms of scoring goals. Nothing on the board thus far.
Yeah, we thought it was going to be a low event first period, and that's what we've had so far.
South Carolina in, snapshot wide of Semptimphelter. That coming from Fusco. Play goes below the goal line. After it is Breen. Defended by Mateer. Big defenseman for Atlanta. He peels it off the wall, finds Sylvester. And the Gladiators look to break out. Here's Nychuk activating from the back end. From the right point, tries to steer it towards the middle. South Carolina in a cluster has it covered. And they move up ice. On the left wing, Howardchuk plays it back. Picked off by Francis. He's able to backhand it to the neutral zone and get off for a line change. 2:47 left in a scoreless first period. Mayer winds it around the boards to the right side for Pinard. Drop pass goes through a cluster of Stingrays. 3 of them are there. Did not connect. And Atlanta will look to forecheck here. Create a turnover in the Stingray zone. That doesn't happen. Puck sneaks its way out to center ice. Lind, the 20-year-old rookie, has it for Atlanta. Under contract with the Predators. Enters on the right side. Able to hang on to the puck despite pressure from Pinard. Puck is juggled for a bit on the far end and again pushed out to the neutral zone. Robilotti from the red line tries to fire it in. Instead hits his own teammate in Boudon. Wilkins is there for South Carolina. Denemy for Atlanta. Gladiators try and push the narrative forward, and they do. Boudon, toe drag, shot, blocker, save, Gibson. Rebound available. Atlanta has it. Denemy on the left wing. Exchanges with Walter. Walter trying to return it to Denemy. Stingrays get in front. Hofer makes the play, flips it into Gladiator territory, looking for Bolson. Gladiators rub him off the puck with 1:33 left in the first. Stingrays have a break the other way, right side, backhand try, and that goes wide. On the chance from Hofer had Semptimphelter beat, but just missed the net.
Yeah, looks like the penalty shot we had from Walter last night had the goalie beat on the backhand, but just sent it wide.
Very similar looking play, had a lot of room. Here's Nychuk from the right side, shot is blocked. Stingrays have the rebound, and they'll just deliver it to Mateer and get off for a line change. 1 minute left in the first period, still no score. Atlanta trying to get on the board here late in period 1. Burns throws it across to the far corner. Puck will work its way over to the near side. Stingrays able to tap it out, intercepted by Nolan. On the zone entry, delayed offside as Burns was a few steps ahead, and now they do blow the whistle with 43.9 left on the clock.
Yeah, looks like we got our regular fourth line reunited here with Scardina, Burns, and Nolan. I like what I've seen from this line today. They're playing hard, they're forechecking hard. Nolan's had a couple of good opportunities, same as Burns, 2 guys who can skate really well. I'd like to see them get on the board today.
Ryan Nolan out there right now on that line with Scardina and Burns. Nolan has been playing his best hockey of the season so far, as Nolan, the goal and assist yesterday, now is on a 3-game point streak, 2 goals and 2 assists in his last 3 entering the day. Neutral zone face-off. contested for a moment. Cooley's got it for South Carolina. He lifts it into Gladiator territory. There to grab it is Brendan Less, Quinnipiac product. It slammed into his own end wall. Turnover here, shot on Semptimphelter. He's able to turn it aside. Less back to the end wall, pokes it over to Jarvis. Looking up ice, the alternate captain for the Gladiators. Bangs it off the wall, looking for Burns. Play slows to a halt in front of the scores table at the red line. South Carolina able to shake it down. DJ King with it for the Stingrays. South Carolina drives it into Atlanta territory as the period comes to a close. So out of all that, no score. Gladiators lead the shot count 11-6. Coming into the day, we figured it may be a low event first period. That's exactly what it was, but we still have a lot to talk about coming up next on the first intermission report here from Atlanta. Talk about how the first period went, what the Gladiators need to do in the second period to get on the board. We'll also talk about what the league is looking like at this very moment on the second day of November. All that coming up in just a moment, right here on the Gladiators Broadcast Network. We're back in a few. Don't go anywhere.
This Thanksgiving, you can count on Kroger. You get up high quality and down low prices. Up high quality with our exclusive brands and down low prices on all your Thanksgiving needs. Because at Kroger, quality and low prices always come together. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Feels like everyone's trying to copy the $5 biggie bag. So how can you spot a knockoff? It won't taste like Wendy's. This job is easy. When the deal is as fresh as the meal, gotta be Wendy's.
Gotta be fresh.
Gwinnett Fire and Emergency Services is ready to answer the call, but we'd rather prevent them. Our free home safety survey includes checking smoke alarms, identifying common hazards, and reviewing your family's home escape plan. Schedule yours today.
Desserts are now
Desserts are popping up on Crumble's menu.
Cookies, all types of dessert.
More than just cookies. The lineup changing weekly.
Desserts now in rotation.
Kinda feels like everyone's trying to copy the $5 biggie bag. So how can you spot a knockoff? It won't taste like Wendy's. This job is easy. When the deal is as fresh as the meal, gotta be Wendy's.
Gotta be fresh.
Welcome back to Atlanta, where through one period of play between the Gladiators and the Stingrays, there is no score. Pretty low event first period between these two squads. Atlanta does outshoot the Stingrays 11-6 in the first period. Gladiators have been outshot in their last 3 games. They've won all 3 of those games, so we'll see how the Gladiators fare here today. They did outshoot Utah in the first 2 games of the season. In both of those games, they won those games too, so it's a whole lot of winning for the Gladiators despite varied attempts at outshooting their opponents so far this season, but the result has been the same. The Gladiators have won all of those matchups. Pretty empty box score so far here today, as just 1 penalty on either side in the first period. Both teams were obviously successful on the penalty kill, as there still is no score. Gladiators picking up right where they left off on the PK. Perfect night, going 4 for 4 last night. They're 1 for 1 so far today. On the Beaver Toyota Mazda the Eco Electric power play, the Gladiators are unsuccessful. They go 0 for 1 in the first period. Mitch Gibson stops 11 of 11 for the Stingrays in the first period. TJ Semptimphelter has not allowed a goal in his last 4 periods, coming off the shutout victory against Florida. He stopped 6 of 6 in the first period, and again, what is a scoreless game. So not a whole lot going on the box score, but there is plenty to talk about in this game. Last night, Andrew, one of the themes of the game was the Gladiators keeping things to the perimeter. The South Carolina team plays a little bit different than what we saw from the Ghost Pirates. It looked like Savannah, very much a north to south kind of team last night, really wanted to use their speed to come flying in and attack the Gladiators using that speed. South Carolina a little bit more cautious, a little bit more of a clog up the neutral zone kind of team. Gladiators, how they fared today against a different style of opponent from what you saw last night to today?
Yeah, I think they're still doing a good job in their own zone. I didn't think Semptimphelter had any high danger chances against. A lot of the shots he had, again, like we talked about last night, shots from the perimeter, shots from outside the dots, and Semptimphelter didn't have to make any otherworldly saves, I'll say, so far, but I thought the Gladiators did a really good job in their own zone. And we talked about the Stingrays. They're trying to clog up that neutral zone a little bit. You call it a little bit of a neutral zone trap, so that the Gladiators are trying to prevent the Gladiators from entering the Stingray zone with possession. They're trying to force it to dump it in and forecheck so that the Stingrays have an easier time of going back there with their defensemen, regrouping, and getting out of their zone with possession. So we'll see how that continues. I'll be interested to see if they can keep up that neutral zone trap for the rest of the game, but it'll be interesting to see here.
And speaking of what the Gladiators did defensively, let's talk about what they did offensively as well. They do outshoot the Stingrays 11-6. What are your thoughts on what the Gladiators were able to do offensively there in the first period?
Yeah, I thought it was a really good first period for that first line of McNamee, Sylvester, and Cipollone. I thought they had a really good game last night. You know, they had a little slow start to the season. They moved Scardina off that line. They moved Cipollone up, and then they go out there last night and score the first goal of the game. I thought they had a couple really good shifts here on the forecheck in this first period, and I'll be looking for them to keep it going here in the second period and for the rest of this game.
One thing that I've noticed so far in today's game, the Gladiators have done a good job in the face-off circle. It seems like they're winning those face-offs and getting that puck possession. Puck possession was one of Matt Ginn's Beaver Toyota Mazda keys to the game coming into today. Obviously, that starts with winning face-offs. How do you think the Gladiators have fared in the puck possession battle here today?
Yeah, we said it before, you know, puck possession, puck possession wins game. You possess the puck for most of the game, you're going to win the game. I think they've done a good job of possessing the puck in the Stingray zone. I think both teams have honestly done a pretty good job of possessing the puck when they've had opportunities in their attacking zones. The Stingrays had a couple of plays where they cycle it from low to high up to their D-man, go D to D, look to get a shot on net. And the Gladiators, I thought, also did a good job cycling down low in the zone, supporting the puck, supporting each other. And I think we're going to probably end up having a low-scoring game here with these two teams. These two teams have looked pretty good defensively and pretty good when they have possession and not surrendering it to their opponent.
Gladiators, again, go 0 for 1 on the power play, but 1 for 1 on the penalty kill. Talked about how good the penalty kill was throughout much of the first period in the pregame because of how well they did yesterday, but thought the power play did do some good things yesterday. What have you seen from them on that one chance that they had in the first period?
Yeah, I liked what I saw specifically from the second unit. I thought the second unit looked pretty good last night, and I thought they've looked pretty good here today. Kalen Lynn had a chance at the side of the net. He just tries to turn and spin it and stuff it into the net. He had another opportunity like that, but it looked like he forced a pass to Alex Young trying to go far side here. Pass got picked off, and it came out of the zone. I don't want the Gladiators to try to do too much on their power play. I don't want them to try to force passes. Take what's given to you, and I think they can take advantage of that if they just simplify it a little bit and take what's given to them.
Shaping up to be perhaps a low-scoring affair here today, so every goal is going to count and mean a little bit more here in a game like this, especially after a scoreless first period. 40 minutes remain in regulation. When we come back, we'll talk about what the Gladiators need to do to get on the board here today, as well as take a peek at the out-of-town scoreboard and do a chat check on our YouTube side. Make sure you go over to our YouTube channel and comment on today's live stream, your thoughts on today's game, and we'll get to that when we come back here to Gas South Arena. Once again, it's the Gladiators and the Stingrays through one period of play. No score from Gas South Arena. We're back after this.
Tonight's game is brought to you by the ECHL, celebrating its 38th season of affordable family entertainment. The ECHL would like to thank everyone in attendance for your support of ECHL hockey. The ECHL would also like to recognize the following league sponsors: AMI Graphics, exclusive signage provider; Athletic Knit, official jersey supplier. Baron Rings, official championship ring supplier. BFL Canada Insurance and Sutton Special Risk, sponsors of the 2026 ECHL Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Dash, official mobile auction platform. The Fairley Group, official commercial insurance provider. Flow Sports, exclusive streaming provider. Hotel Planner, official hotel reservations partner. Howie's Hockey Tape, exclusive hockey tape and lace provider. In Glasgow, exclusive puck provider. Prolific One, exclusive secondary ticketing partner. And Warrior, exclusive on-ice equipment provider and title sponsor of the 2026 ECHL All-Star Classic. Catch all of the ECHL action live in high definition by logging on to flowhockey.tv.
Feels like everyone's trying to copy the $5 biggie bag. So how can you spot a knockoff? It won't taste like Wendy's. This job is easy. When the deal is as fresh as the meal, gotta be Wendy's.
Gotta be fresh.
Sometimes life's collisions leave us feeling off balance. But at 100% Chiropractic, we know how to get you back on track.
We don't just straighten you out, we empower you. We educate you on how to get to the root cause and give you a play-by-play strategy on how to get you back to 100%.
We even use lasers.
Lasers!
Our $49 first experience includes a complete set of comprehensive chiropractic x-rays, a fit 3D scan, and your first life-changing adjustment. Visit us and break the ice. Discover the power of chiropractic care at 100%.
When you need inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger. For thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals. And low prices that add up to big savings, like over $600 in digital coupons each week, and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Gwinnett.
We're approaching second period action between the Gladiators and the Stingrays. For now, it's a scoreless game, but Atlanta looking to change that here in the second period. They have done a good job of out-shooting the Stingrays through one period of play. Atlanta able to put up 11 shots on Mitch Gibson there in the first period, but no goals coming out of it yet, as we'll look to see how the Gladiators have fared in the second period. So far this year, it's been an even split. 4 goals for, 4 goals against. See what this Gladiators team is made of here in the second period today. No second period goals from the Gladiators yesterday, so it'll be interesting to see which team wins the second period. South Carolina have had a bit of a sleepier time in the first period. So far this season, we saw that evident here today. We'll see how the second period goes between these two clubs. But Andrew, I think it kind of starts with that first line for the Gladiators here today. I was very active yesterday, especially with Cipolo moving up to that line, but it feels in a game like this where you know you're playing a good team in South Carolina, best team in the regular season last year. Here today, it feels like your stars got to step up. Mike McNamee, Cody Sylvester had an assist yesterday, but are both still looking for their first goal this season. What are you looking for out of those two, along with Cipolone here in the second period to maybe jumpstart this Gladiators offensively?
Yeah, you said it perfectly, Guy. A game like this, second game in 2 days, you're going to want to lean on your veterans, your leaders. Obviously, Sylvester being your captain, you want to lean on that guy to help you get a win in this one. They're two big bodies. I want to see them get in on the forecheck and force the Stingrays defensemen to make mistakes. I think that's going to be the biggest thing in this game today. Both of these teams playing pretty well defensively, keeping everything to the outside. I think it's going to be someone making a mistake that's going to end up in the back of someone's net here. I don't think it's going to be a clean bang-bang play, because we've seen they've been defending those kind of plays pretty well here today. it's going to be a mistake that's going to end up in the back of someone's net.
Let's do a chat check here on the YouTube side. Let's see what's going on in our live chat. Looks like we got some newcomers and some returners as well. Good afternoon to Joe Mama. Good to see you again. Stadium Arena. There you are, buddy. Listen, I got the Glad's colors ties on here, your old colors. Got that on here today. That maroon, that black. Looking real nice here today. Hello to Annika in the building. Christina. Kylie, good to see Kai here on the broadcast, but you're rooting for South Carolina, Kai. You're rooting for the wrong team. In fact, you actually interned with us, Kai, and you're rooting for South Carolina. I'm telling the president, I'm telling Jared Youngman. That's a no-no, that's bad. Justin Burke, good to see you, my friend. And Joe Mama's got a question for us. So Joe Mama asks, if bread is traditionally square, why is sandwich meat round? I think that's a great question. Why is it?
I'm lost.
I really think that it should be all uniform. That way you don't have any corners on the sandwich that are not, you don't just get a bite of all bread or a bite of all meat. You get even distribution all across. I like it.
My mind doesn't go straight to like sandwich meat, but when you're thinking square, a nice good grilled cheese. The grilled cheese is nice and square.
Dude, the cheese is square. Yeah. So why can't the meat be square?
Why can't we get some meat like
Joe
that?
Mama, thank you for your question. Everybody else in the live chat, comment your thoughts on that here, because that is a really good question. Thank you, Joe, for some entertainment here in the intermission as we are rounding up the end of the first intermission, approaching period 2 here. Interested to see what happens in terms of the special teams side here in the second period. South Carolina coming into today's matchup, 106 penalty minutes against. That is the 4th most in the ECHL, while the Gladiators are one of the most disciplined teams in the league so far this season. So you would figure that if the Gladiators are able to draw some penalties here in the second period, we talked about that power play before. They've been doing some good things over the last couple of games. If that power play can get enough chances out there, that could be the breaking point in today's game that can help the Gladiators get an edge on the Stingrays here today in the goal department.
Yeah, we saw last night the Gladiators went over 4 on the power play. Here today, they had that one in the first period. Second unit came out, looked pretty well. And, you'd like to break through on the power play here. They're kind of slumping a little bit here. Yesterday, they were up at 33.3%. They went over 4 last night. They're down to 26.7%. Still good for 8th best power play in the league. But, you got to pick it up a little bit on the power play here. You don't want, you're 0 for 5 in your last 5 here. You got to try and strike one here.
See what the Gladiators are able to do here in the second period as Atlanta coming back out of the tunnel here for the start of the second. TJ Sempton-Felter leads the charge, stopping all 6 shots that he saw in the first period. Stingrays set to come out of their own tunnel here in a moment as Mitch Gibson stopped 6 of 6 in period 1. Come back in 1 minute here on the Gladiators Broadcast Network for the start of the second period. This concludes the end of the intermission report. We're back in a few.
This Thanksgiving, you can count on Kroger. You get up high quality and down low prices. Up high quality with our exclusive brands and down low prices on all your Thanksgiving needs. Because at Kroger, quality and low prices always come together. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Welcome back to Gas South Arena, home of the Gladiators. We're currently tied in a scoreless game through 1 period of play. Both squads back out for the second. Atlanta wearing their white jerseys for the first time this year. It's a white jersey with blue numbers and Gladiator gold trim and a gold stripe around the middle with Atlanta Gladiators script on it. They will skate from left to right here in the second period. Stingrays wearing a blue jersey with white numbers and red trim will skate from right to left. Puck is dropped. Stingrays win it. They will have possession to open the middle frame. Mayer will drive it into Atlanta territory. Hofer hustles to it, gets swarmed up by McNamee. Mateer plugs it over to the far wall, glances off a skate. Stingrays keep it in. Puck loose on the near side. Cipollone can't quite get it out. Held in for the moment by Bolson. Swirls it around to the far side, now up top. Kept alive and driven down. Picking up there is Hofer. Play to the middle, doesn't make its way to Sentenfelter. McNamee with it for Atlanta, looks up ice. He gets wedged off the puck there by Patrick Guzzo. And the Stingrays dump it in and get a line change in. And we saw a lot of that in the first period. A lot of dump and chase action. Going to see if things break out in the middle frame.
Yeah, I'm looking to see things kind of open up here in a little bit in this second period. You know, start that game. Two teams who haven't seen each other yet this year, feeling each other out a little bit. I'd like to see this game break open a little bit.
Sentenfelter plays the puck turnover here. Gladiators get back in time to make an offensive stand. Denemy was there with Alex Young. It is the period of the long change. We'll see how that impacts things after a scoreless first. Gladiators this season have scored 4 goals in the second period and allowed 4 goals. Here's Walter in the middle, can't quite reel in a pass. Chases after it to the end wall where he's mobbed by Romain Rodzinski. Stingrays over the red line, whack it over to the far corner where Conroy meets it for Atlanta. Nolan in the neutral zone, takes it in stride. Nolan down the middle, bounces to the right side, looks to shoot, finds a man in the middle in Scardina, but couldn't quite connect. Conroy below the goal line, moves to his backhand, prods it up to Nolan at the left point, returns it to Conroy on his forehand, finds an open man, it's Burns to Scardina below the goal line, back to Burns. Trade places, Scardina right circle shot off the side of the net and stays out. And the puck is cleared from there. No icing. 2.5 minutes gone by in the second.
Yeah, I talked about in the first intermission report there, this fourth line for the Gladiators has been really good, and they're having another good shift here to start this second period.
Part of that line heads off. Scardina stays out on the forecheck. Chuck from his own blue line. Drifts towards his right. Tries to push it ahead. Blocked by Boudon. Gladiators take it in transition. Lynn tried to feed it back to Boudon, but the pass a tad offline. Stingrays get it out to center. Gladiators come right back in. Here is Kalen Lind on the outside. Leaves it for a shot by Boudon that goes off a stick. Rebound to Lind from the right point. Mateer across to Chuck and bucked like a frog on a pond. Skipped over his stick. Went back out to the neutral zone. Bad beat for the Glads. Atlanta dumps it in. Gibson out to play it. Driving towards the net is Lind, trying to cut in towards the Stingray netminder. He's able to poke check it away. Good shift for Lind. He will head off. And the Stingrays will pitchfork it ahead. Home run pass intercepted by Les. And we're looking for Dealstra. Now the Gladiators will take their chances. Captain Cody Sylvester on the near side boards, looking for reinforcement, plays it down low. Diving Cipollone out in front, almost connected with McNamee, but sprawling across was Gibson to make the save.
You know, we talked about this first line in the first intermission report that they needed to have a good period. That's a great shift there, and what a save by Gibson. I mean, this game should be 1-0 right now. Great cycle down low between Sylvester and Cipollone. Cipollone carries it around the net, hits McNamee wide open in the slot, who gets a good quick shot off, a good quick one-timer. Looking 5-hole there on Gibson. Gibson just beats him. What a save.
That line will stay out there for the Gladiators. And that play started with the division of Cody Sylvester, able to find McNamee down low, or excuse me, Cipollone. He then almost connected with McNamee for the score. Instead, it remains a scoreless game. Just a few seconds under 4 minutes gone by in period 2. Les in the neutral zone. Thumps it ahead. Stingrays take it and punch it into their own bench. 4:07 gone by in period 2. It looks like that Sylvester line with Cipollone and McNamee will head off.
Yeah, as I said before, you want a good shift, a good game from that line. And I think that last shift they had there, though they didn't score, it's a step in the right direction for that line. I'd like to see them continue pushing the rest of this game here.
Face off in front of the Stingrays bench. Young will take it for Atlanta. It is won by Kupka for South Carolina. He ends up drawing a penalty here. Off to the bench is Gibson. Gladiators will touch up. And the Stingrays will go to their second power play of the game. Atlanta heading to the Beaver Toyota Mazda penalty kill. It is Isaac Walter who is the culprit. He will take a seat, and the Glads will go to the PK for the second time today.
Yep, we're just looking for the Gladiators here to kind of remain at their status quo. Their penalty kill has been really good. Just keep everything to the outside. Don't give up any high danger chances. And when you get a chance to clear, clear it.
Mayer on the face-off victory. Pass cross ice, blocked nicely by Robilotti. And taking away is Scardino. One-on-one with Mayer. Bounces to the right side and shoots. Goes off the stick of the Stingray defenseman and out of play with 15:30 left in the second.
Hey, that's a fine play if you're Scardino. Skating out there one-on-one, looking for a shot on goal, shoots it off Mayer's stick, puck goes out of play, but the Gladiators have a face-off in the Stingray zone, down a man here. I mean, that's fine. You're perfectly fine with that if your coach getting a face-off in the attacking zone here. Keep it as far away from your net as you can here to kill this penalty off.
The quartet out there for the Gladiators: Cipollone, Denemy, Matier, and Nychuk. Two forwards, two defensemen for Atlanta here on the PK. Walter in the box for tripping. 1:47 left on his sentence. Stingrays win the defensive zone draw. See how the Gladiators defend the neutral zone here. South Carolina comes right down the middle. Maynard to the right side. Tries to locate Wilkins. He gets mobbed by two Gladiators. Puck is pinned up in a board battle. Stingrays shake it free. Wilkins to the right point for Mayer. Across he goes. Pinard delays and shoots. Deflected in front of Semptimphelter. Gladiators have the rebound, and they chuck it down to Gibson for a clear. Mayer, stretch pass. Half a foot ahead of Wilkins. Les gets it at the end wall, prods it up ahead to Boudon. Hits a man on the fly, Burns one-on-one the other way, snapshot wide of Gibson. The lone defender was Romain Rodzinski. He is able to make the defensive play. Whistle slows play to a halt with 49 seconds left on the penalty to Walter. 14:31 left in the second period. Stingers were offside on that previous play.
Yeah, I like what the Gladiators have done on this penalty kill so far. They're taking their clears. They're getting the puck out of the zone when they can. And when the puck's in their zone, they're not allowing any high danger opportunities. They got to keep this up here.
Neutral zone face-off, won by South Carolina. Still on the man advantage. The next 42 seconds. Rodzinski looking up ice, brushes it towards his right, goes off the skate of Lyndon Breen and over to the far corner. Jarvis is there to meet it for Atlanta. Stingrays hustling towards it, trying to grind the puck out of the corner. Atlanta does a better job of it and mails it back down to Gibson for another clear. 20 seconds left on the sentence to Walter. One last gasp for the Stingrays here on the power play. They'll feed it to the right side. Breen slows to a halt. Puck goes down low to the right circle, and it just rolled off the stick of Bolson. Penalty expires. We're back to even strength. Out of the box is Walter. He'll get to work on the forecheck. Stretch pass from South Carolina makes its way to the neutral zone. Give and go. And Locus drops it off for Howardchuk. Left circle shot. Stays out of the net. It might have hit the crossbar. It's the second time the Stingrays have hit iron here today. Remains a scoreless game.
Yeah, it looked like Scardina and Robilotti just skated into each other in the zone there, giving a chance to the Stingrays there.
Gladiators iced the puck, and the only thing that was different about that time that the Stingrays hit the post is there was no sound. Last time we definitely heard the echo in the ring all the way up here in the rafters where we're at, but that one, no ping to it, which kind of caught me off guard.
Yeah, that one not nearly as loud there.
Face off to the right of Semptenfelter. Won by the Stingrays. Moore sidesteps along the left wing. From the half wall, feeds it up top to Cooley. Long try, blocked by his own man and Howardchuk. Rebound gathered by Conroy. Held in at the right point on a clearing attempt. The Stingrays reverse it over to the near side. Lobolati deals it to the neutral zone. Sylvester will pitch it in and give chase. First line back out there for Atlanta. Meanwhile, Riley Webb pokes to the neutral zone. Penalty coming up here with 12:37 left in the second. Still a scoreless game here from Gas South Arena. 12:37 left in the second period. We're back in a moment after a word from our local sponsors.
This Thanksgiving, you can count on Kroger. You get up high quality and down low prices. Up high quality with our exclusive brands and down low prices on all your Thanksgiving needs. Because at Kroger, quality and low prices always come together. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Still a scoreless affair here at Gas South Arena, approaching the midway point of regulation. Boudon will take the face-off for Atlanta. Going up against Kyler Kupka, who wins it for the Stingrays. South Carolina weasels its way down low. Shot from the right circle by Pinard, blocked by Mateer. He collides with Ryan Francis for a moment, but Atlanta able to skate it free. Cross-ice pass on time for Boudon, close to being offside, but it is an onside play. And now it doesn't matter because South Carolina gets out to the neutral zone. They'll push it to the end wall. Mateer there for Atlanta. Locates Francis in the far corner. He's quickly swarmed by a pack of Stingrays. And on the far wing wall, Boudon goes cross ice for Lind. Pace of play here in the second period, about the same as what we saw in the first. Pretty low event. And back and forth stump and chase action. Here's one there. Stingrays pelted off the Gladiators end wall. Gathered by Les. We'll find out in this period how many times, how many different ways you can describe a dump in. About moments away from setting up a counter. Here's one for Mateer. Angles it off the end wall, or excuse me, off the near side wall to the end wall. Walter there for Atlanta. They'll wheel it up to the right point for Les. Cross ice, on time for Jarvis. Holds, shoots. Rebound goes to Denemy. At the right point, Les. Surveys again, deals it back to Jarvis. Left side, feeds it to the middle. Off a leg in front of Walter. And the Stingrays will pitch it out to center.
Yeah, you said it, Guy. Pretty low event here to start the second period. Both teams doing a really good job of defending in their own zone. No one really giving up any high danger opportunities here in the second period.
Les with it for Atlanta. Skates over center circle. Comes in on the left side. Wanted to quickly spring it to Young, but it ends up hitting a stick. Stingrays trying to take advantage. Moving up ice is Bolson. He'll go around the net on his forehand. Drops it off. Rodzinski moves to the backhand. Feeds it to the right point. Stingrays to the middle. Forced outside by Les. And around below the goal line.
Yeah, Bolson had a good opportunity there coming in from the right side, but Robolotti skating with them, keeping them to the outside, didn't even allow a shot on goal there.
That was a theme in yesterday's game in the 4-2 win against Savannah. Here is Bolson again. Moves to his forehand, right circle shot. Semptifelter the save, and the rebound is stopped as well. In front was Guzzo, and Semptifelter's up to the task.
Yeah, that time they let Bolson get to inside ice, and Semptifelter had to make his first big save of the day.
Joined by President Jared Youngman here on our YouTube audiocast. He's hanging out here on the catwalk level. Still a scoreless game here in Atlanta between the Stingrays and the Gladiators. Face off to the right of Semptifelter, but kind of getting lost in the fact that it's a scoreless game. Semptifelter, while he's only seen 9 shots, has put together a pretty good game so far.
Yeah, I'd say that last one there was the most dangerous shot he's seen yet, and he was up to the task.
Stingrays win the face-off. Shot is plunked wide of Semptifelter. They'll go below the goal line. Breen there for South Carolina. At the left point, Brodzinski shoots. It's blocked by Young. They'll toss it to the neutral zone. And they'll get back to work through center. Howardchuk flies down the left wing, using speed, shoots a low-angle drive. Stopped by the right pad of Semptifelter. Odd-looking shot. TJ made the save. Cipollone right circle shot goes off a leg and wide. And maybe this game is finally starting to open up a little bit. Howardchuk sent down to his keister in front of the South Carolina bench. Stingrays will rainbow it into the Atlanta end. Sylvester knocks it off his skate to McNamee, moving ahead, but play did not connect. Stingrays come barging in on the right side. Quickly slammed down by the Gladiators. And back and forth we go. Krenzen to the neutral zone. Stingrays take it on the move. Bernard on the left side can't quite reel it in, defended by Mateer. Big defenseman for Atlanta, rubs him off the puck, centering feed, broken up by Francis. Puck leaks over to Boudon, series of quick passes. Pinballs around a bit, but the Gladiators do still have it.
Yeah, great breakup by Francis there in his own zone, intercepting that pass. D-man would have been wide open there for a good look on goal.
8:15 left in the second period. We're officially into the second half of regulation. Robolotti from his own end takes a crunch, loses his stick, picks it back up. Meanwhile, a board battle ensues in the near corner. Conroy able to skate out of it, looking up ice. Led all Adirondack Thunder defenseman in points last year. Was acquired in a trade in the offseason. Atlanta drives the puck in. South Carolina stretches it to the left wing. Open is Cooley. On his back end, goes behind the net. Cooley wraparound attempt, stopped in front. Conroy was there to make the defensive play. From low to high, the Stingrays have it again. Long range shot, absorbed by Semptifelter. He'll hang on with 7:33 left in the second period. Still a scoreless affair here in Atlanta. We're back in a moment after a word from our local sponsors.
Desserts are popping up on Crumble's menu.
All types of dessert.
More than just cookies. The lineup changing weekly.
Desserts now in rotation.
Feels like everyone's trying to copy the $5 biggie bag. So how can you spot a knockoff? It won't taste like Wendy's. This job is easy. When the deal is as fresh as the meal, gotta be Wendy's.
Gotta be fresh.
Gwinnett Fire and Emergency Services is ready to answer the call, but we'd rather prevent them. Our free home safety survey includes checking smoke alarms, identifying common hazards, and reviewing your family's home escape plan. Schedule yours today.
Back here in Atlanta, Gladiators headed to the power play here as Dean Lucas is in the box for South Carolina. He gets 2 minutes for roughing, and we'll see the Gladiators on the power play for the second time today. Andrew, what did you like about what the Gladiators did on their last power play attempt?
Yeah, I talked about the first intermission report. I really liked what I saw from that second unit. You know, they had a good opportunity out front with Kaylin Lynn, had the puck on the side of the goal, tries to turn and just stuff it in, almost ended up in the back of the net. I'd like to see them simplify a little bit. You know, they're trying to force passes a little too much. Passes are getting broken up, and they're ending up getting cleared down their end, and they're having to attempt to get back into the zone. I'd like to see them simplify a little bit, move the puck along the perimeter, and look for the open guy.
Bit of a delay to resume live action as Dave Warsofsky, the head coach for the Stingrays, getting an explanation from our referee here today, Jamie Pavia, who was our same referee last night. Face-off will be to the right of Gibson. He has stopped 10 of 10 to this point. First unit out there for the Gladiators: McNamee, Francis, Boudon, Sylvester, and Nychuk. Watch out for Chad Nychuk here to kind of quarterback things. Time for the team lead in points with 6. They win that face-off. Boudon squirms along the left wing wall, plays it to Nychuk at the line. Cross ice, Sylvester's got it from the right circle. Surveys the scene, returns it to Nychuk. Now back to Sylvester. Has a man down low. McNamee between the legs, looking for Francis. Can they stuff it in? No, they can't. Gibson and the Stingrays hold firm. Sylvester from the outside deals it down low. McNamee sauces it to the left wing. Boudon up top to Nychuk. Back to Boudon. Left circle creeping in. Feeds it through the slot. Goes out the other side, and Momentum carries the puck to the neutral zone.
Like what I've seen from this first unit so far, McNamee playing down low in that net front.
Knee-on-knee collision on the zone entry by Boudon. That's going to draw a penalty and a bit of a skirmish as well, as Nychuk takes offense to Connor Moore, who threw that hit on Boudon on the zone entry. There's 1:13 left on the penalty to Locust, and now it'll be a 5-on-3 Gladiator power play with Moore sitting in the box.
Yeah, good on Nychuk going after Moore there after that knee-on-knee hit on Boudon. You know, it's kind of a tough play if you're Moore. Boudon cuts to the inside. Moore's already committed to a hit. Kind of chicken wings his leg out there a little bit, just clips him. But good on Nychuk, letting Moore know he's there, but not taking an additional penalty and getting the Gladiators this 5-on-3. What I want to see here from the Gladiators, you know, they'll have their standard setup here, that umbrella setup, but I want them to push their defensemen a little lower. So when you have 5-on-3, you got a lot more space to work with here. If they can move their defensemen down a little bit, it'll open things up for them here.
5-on-3 power play for the Gladiators. Good to see out of all that. Louis Boudon, after taking the knee-on-knee collision, is going to stay out there for the next sequence on the 2-man advantage. Gladiators win the face-off. Boudon from the right point deals it to his left. Nychuk down low, connects with Francis. Back to Boudon. Quick touch. Nychuk, a bomb! And that one goes wide of Gibson. Momentum carries the puck out to the neutral zone.
You know, puck ends up in the neutral zone here, but it was a good setup in the right look there for Nychuk. He's just got to hit the net there, but I like what I saw there.
Boudon has to feather it to the middle for Sylvester. Angled off his skate, returns it to Boudon. At the right point, looking towards the net, plays it below the right circle for McNamee. Back to Boudon. Nychuk creeping in. Down low, one touch. Sylvester, a one-timer, is stopped at the goal line by Gibson.
Wow, what a save again by Gibson. You know, it was a great setup there. Nychuk coming down from his left point. Hits Francis on the goal line, who just one-touches it to Sylvester for the one-timer in the slot. You know, you can't set it up much better than that. Just an even better save there by Gibson.
Cody Sylvester, near 13 in the league, or in professional hockey. 331 points. in 370 games, and he is stopped on the doorstep by Gibson to keep it a scoreless game. 5-on-3 for the next 20 seconds. Nychuk to Boudon, right circle at the goal line, finds McNamee, back to Boudon, he shoots, and another stop by Gibson. He freezes with 5:45 left in the period and 13 seconds left on the two-man advantage.
Some really good opportunities there for that Gladiators first unit, and they did exactly what I was talking about. Boudon and Nychuk, the point men, moving down a little bit, top of the circle to the high slot, and Boudon got a really good look there.
Ten seconds left on the 5-on-3. Mateer tries to keep the play alive. Hofer able to jam it out to the neutral zone. Impressive play there from South Carolina. That kills off the first penalty. Locust out of the box. Walter comes in on the right side. 5-on-4 power play for Atlanta. Mateer across. Young slaps it wide of Gibson. Rebound available. Mateer back to Young. Top of the left circle. Weasels his way in and shoots. It's blocked by Hofer. Puck goes to the outside from the end wall. Lind to Cipollone. Up top to Walter from the right point surveys. Feeds it to the middle for Mateer. 19 seconds left on the power play as he puts it on goal. Another stop for Gibson, and the Stingrays will clear. 8 seconds left on the power play. Maybe one last chance here for Atlanta if they hurry. Mateer enters the attacking zone. Dumps it in, and that does conclude the Gladiators' power play. Now 0 for 3 on the man advantage here today, and you got to feel like that's a missed opportunity there for Atlanta to take the lead. 4:35 left in the second period. Stick save here made by Gibson. Stingrays knock it off the wall out to center. And it'll roll in on Septenfelter, who keeps the play alive.
Yeah, I thought the Gladiators' power play had some really good looks there. But you got to hope this doesn't create momentum for the Stingrays, because, you know, you go out there, kill a 5-on-3, and that might hype them up a little bit. If you're the Gladiators, you got to keep attacking here. I thought they had some really good looks on that power play.
Power play looked good, but could not convert. Remains a scoreless game with 4:14 left in the second period. We're back to Gas South Arena after a word from our local sponsors.
Desserts are popping up on Crumble's menu.
All types of dessert.
More than just cookies.
The Line Engine Weekly.
Desserts now in rotation.
Gladiators had a chance to take the lead on a 5-on-3 man advantage opportunity, but they could not put the puck into the back of the net. And it's turning into a battle of goaltenders here today. Busy second period. Atlanta out shooting South Carolina 17-11, but the real story here in the middle frame has been Stingrays goaltender Mitch Gibson. He stopped all 17 shots that he saw, including a couple of impressive chances for the Gladiators on that man advantage. So, with 4 from Duluth. Mayer. Across and down. Nolan on the near side there for Atlanta. Hacks it off the wall, and Stardina takes it on the move. Stardina from the left wing on his backhand. Moves to his forehand. Being swarmed by Krenzen. Good effort there from Stardina, but one-man band isn't enough. And the Stingrays able to take it away and dump it down to Gladiator ice. Robilotti, soft tap to Nolan, coming off of his first multi-point performance in the ECHL. He's able to knock it down below the goal line. Puck comes out to center. Les right back in for the Gladiators. Stopped there by Wilkins. Stingrays repossess as Breen plays it back to his defense. 3:04 left in the second period. Still no score. And keep in mind, the Stingrays were shut out last night in Greenville, so it's been at least 4 periods and almost 5 since the Stingrays last scored a goal. Gladiators back in on his own entry. Les from the right point. Sauces it from high to low. Nolan waiting below the goal line. Make that Boudon. Shoved off the puck. Gladiators keep. Les across to Jarvis. Francis looking for a tip in. Ends up not getting anywhere close to the net front. Stingrays pressured in front of the Gladiators bench, but they do hang on. As Connor Maynard keeps the puck for South Carolina. In the far corner of his own end, Mateer tries to play it up. Turnover and a chance. Stopped by Septenfelter. The rebound available. And oh my goodness, McNamee just skates it free. Unbelievable.
Guy, we said that someone was going to score this goal in this game off a mistake, and we almost had it there. Tough turnover by the Gladiators in front of their own net. Almost ended up in the back of it.
Cooley took the initial shot. He had the puck off the turnover. Septenfelter came way out to make the stop, and then in the blue paint, McNamee able to skate it out of danger. Atlanta back on the forecheck. Fusco drops it back to King. He will get a lay of the land with 1:20 left in the second. Stingrays tap it into Gladiator territory. Nychuk able to skate around the pressure. Chad Nychuk through the neutral zone from the outside. Feeds it to the middle. Pinballs in front, and Young can't jab it in. Took the initial shot, ended up caroming back to him, and he fed it wide. Long chance wide of Gibson. Sylvester on the left wing. Has some space. Wanted to move it to the middle, hit a skate, but out to the neutral zone. Stingrays ahead. Pass across. Here's a chance. South Carolina shot. Stopped by Septenfelter. I believe that was Boulson with the try. And now Sylvester gains the red line and fires it in. Walter, fresh off the bench, has it. Has a trailer. Robilotti in front. Sylvester can't whack it in. On the stick save by Gibson. Here's a break the other way for South Carolina. No look pass. Broken up. Diving play by Young. And that will be a penalty on Atlanta. South Carolina hangs on to the puck. 15 seconds left in the period. Webb to the right point. Back to the middle. Down low. South Carolina keeping the puck here. 5 seconds left in the period. Pinard holds and shoots. It goes wide, and the period will expire. And South Carolina will start the third period with a power play, but not before a bit of a scuffle. Conroy getting into it with Romain Rodzinski after the whistle.
Yeah, we really started to open up in those last couple minutes of that second period, Guy. A little up and down action there. It was getting exciting there for a minute.
That was a delight to see. The game finally breaks open. Some chances up and down the ice, but it will be a penalty on Alex Young to start the third period, as it's a tripping call on Young. Stingrays had puck possession for the rest of the period. Atlanta not able to touch up, so Stingrays get the full 2 minutes on the man advantage to start the third period, and what it feels like the next goal in today's game could very well end up being the game winner. Still a scoreless game through 2 periods of play. Atlanta has the edge in the shot count, 19-12, but all in all, still no score. We're back in a moment here for the second intermission report. We'll recap the first 2 periods. Look ahead to period 3. Take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard. Do a chat check on our YouTube side. Comment your thoughts on today's game on our YouTube live stream. And we'll check it out during the intermission show. All that coming up in just a moment on the second intermission report. We're back after a word from our local sponsors.
This Thanksgiving, you can count on Kroger. You get up high quality and down low prices. Up high quality with our exclusive brands and down low prices on all your Thanksgiving needs. Because at Kroger, quality and low prices always come together. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Well, after one period of play, we were scoreless. After 2 periods of play, we're still scoreless. No score between the Gladiators and the Stingrays through 2 periods of play. Bring it back to the second intermission report. I'm Guy Chiarenza alongside Andrew Fleming. There's not really a lot to talk about when you look at the box score, as obviously no goals have been scored. Similar story to what we saw after 1 period of play. Gladiators leading the shot count again, 19-12. Take a look at the box score here through 2 periods of play. Gladiators outshooting the Stingrays 19-13. Outshot them 8-7 in the second period, which was a much closer margin compared to what the first period looked like, as the Gladiators outshot the Stingrays 11-6 through 1 period of play. Both teams have had 3 power play chances. South Carolina is about to start their third at the beginning of the third period. But the Gladiators 0-for-3 in the power play. To this point, they're 2-for-2 on the penalty kill. We did see the game open up a little bit towards the end of the second period. Both teams getting good chances back and forth. The goalies really putting on a show there, especially Mitch Gibson in the second period. But TJ Sechtenfelder putting together some good saves of his own at the end of the second period. And really, Andrew, that's kind of become the focal point of today's game. Good goaltending and not a whole lot generating on offense. Chances for the Gladiators, look at the shot count, 19-12, but a lot of those have been low danger opportunities. What do the Gladiators need to do here in the third period to start generating some more grade A scoring chances?
Yeah, South Carolina's doing a good job of keeping them to the outside. If you're the Gladiators, you got to kind of force yourself to inside ice to get those good opportunities. You know, I thought they did a good job of that on the 5-on-3 and towards the end of that second period there, but obviously the 5-on-3, you got 2 more guys out there in the South Carolina, so it's going to be a little easier to get good looks, which I thought they did on that power play. But, you know, you got to get to inside ice. You got to create net front traffic. And you got to just work at it, you know. It's games like this, they have kind of the feel of like a playoff game, you know. We got a goalie duel here. We knew these goalie stats coming into the game with Gibson and Sechtenfelder, 2 of the best goalies in the league so far this season. We knew we were going to have good goaltending today, so, you know, a little bit of that teams feeling each other out, a little bit of a playoff game type feel early in the season. I kind of love to see it. I love these games. They're intense. They're fun. They may be a little low event, but, you know, I feel like we get next goal here is winning.
Yeah, I mean, you can think about a playoff-type atmosphere on the second day of November. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. And you think about what the crowd has been able to do here today, the atmosphere in the building. The Gladiators are 5-0, trying to stay undefeated here with a win over South Carolina. But it feels like this has been their biggest test yet as far as moving through the neutral zone and the battle for puck possession. Who do you think has the edge so far, if any team does have the edge as far as puck possession goes so far in this game?
You know, I feel like no one really has an edge here. You know, I feel like they're playing a lot of ping pong here. You know, One team has possession for a good shift in the other team's attacking zone, and then we come back, and the other team's got a good shift of possession. So it's just going to come down to, like we said before, I think it's going to be someone's going to make a mistake, and it's going to end up in the back of their net, and that's going to be the deciding factor in this one.
A few things aren't working on the Gladiators side here in the third period, despite having to start on the penalty kill, which has been 2-for-2 so far. It was 4-for-4 yesterday. It was 4-for-4 in South Florida against the Everblades a few games ago. The Gladiators, despite their penalty kill playing very well, have been very good offensively in third period so far this season, as the Gladiators this year have outscored their opponents in the third period this season 7-3. So they have a +4 goal differential in the third period. The third period is the Gladiators' best scoring period so far this season with 7 goals in the third period, and Because of that, the Gladiators have scored a third period goal in every single game this year. They scored one yesterday with the goal from Mickey Burns. On the flip side, you look at South Carolina, third period has not been their best period so far this season, as the Stingrays have allowed 12 third period goals this season. That's tied for the highest figure in the entire ECHL. So you think about all that working in the Gladiators' favor, but the stats are the stats. The moment is today. Gladiators trying to generate some more offense. Back in the first intermission report, we talked about that first line, Sylvester, McNamee, and Cipollone. They started to buzz a little bit there in the second period. What did you like from their game in the second period as we moved further and further through the game?
Yeah, you got two big guys, honestly, three big guys on that line with Cipollone, Sylvester, and McNamee. So they're going to be able to push their way to inside ice, especially McNamee. McNamee's a big guy, big veteran presence in the net front. I thought they did a really good job of that on the power play. We saw Sylvester with a great A opportunity out front, set up from Francis behind the net on the power play. But even at 5-on-5, I thought that first line looked really good. They looked good on the forecheck, getting in hard on pucks, forcing turnovers, getting looks at the net. I just want to see them continue what they're doing. I don't think they're doing anything wrong here. I think they're having a good game so far. I just like to see them continue. They're due. One's going to end up in the back of South Carolina's net if they just keep on playing the way they are.
Gladiators have proven that they can win in a variety of different ways. We've seen that in about every single game the Gladiators have won this season. It's come in a different fashion. Today, it's probably going to end up being a lower scoring affair. 20 minutes left to go, no goals on the board. And it might come down to a one-goal game. The next goal is going to be very, very important, and it's likely going to be the game winner. So you think about the stats here, the Stingrays, that's been their bread and butter, is winning one-goal games this season. The Stingrays are 3-0 in such instances. The Gladiators have proven that they can win in one-goal games, but they've only done it once, and it was in this building, and it was on opening night, the 3-2 overtime victory over the Utah Grizzlies. So all of that working at play here today in what should be an exciting third period between the Stingrays and the Gladiators. And I think, Andrew, it's going to be interesting to see if there's a sense of urgency that develops from both of these two teams here to try and win this game in regulation and get that goal that will break this tie. Because you think about it right now, we're cruising through this game. We're getting closer and closer to a potential overtime period if we are still tied. Both teams get a point out of that. How aggressive will both sides be to kind of break this stalemate here and get that goal? That's what I'm interested to see. And we saw things open up a little bit towards the end of that second period. Turned into a little bit of run and gun action, and the transition game really took shape. Gladiators did a really good job with that yesterday. I have to feel like if that becomes the style of game that plays here in the third period, I really do like their Gladiators' chances of winning this game if that does open up. But they have to find a way to move the game towards that direction, to play their style of game rather than South Carolina's more of a sluggish style to clog up the neutral zone and a puck possession battle.
Yeah, you said it perfectly there, guy. South Carolina, they want to play a little bit of a slower game. They want to clog you up in the neutral zone. They want to force you to play the chip and chase game. You said it. The Gladiators can play a lot of different ways here. They went run and gun last night with Savannah. That was a very high-paced game back and forth because Savannah's a very fast team, and that's just the way that they play. And we saw South Carolina can't really play that game. They lost 9-4 to Savannah last week. So, if the Gladiators can kind of push that agenda to kind of open this game up a little more, I think it definitely favors them here in this third period.
Do a chat check here. A big shout out to David Simmons. David, what a nice stat nugget you got for us here. South Carolina has not scored in 5 periods in 47 seconds. So it's been a long time coming for the Stingrays. We did mention earlier today, they were shut out last night in Greenville. Thought they might come in with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, which they've definitely been aggressive. They've definitely been a formidable opponent, judging by the score, which is still scoreless here. But they have yet to solve their scoring woes thus far. So the last time the Stingrays scored, again, 5 periods and 47 seconds ago, that goes all the way back to their 4-2 win over Orlando last week. So been a long time coming for the Stingrays. Gladiators hoping to push that off a little bit further down the road and keep the Stingrays off the board here in the third period, which is going to be very high drama and very high stakes as the Gladiators look to keep their perfect record intact. Talk more about it when we get to the other side of the break. We'll also take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard and do more peeping in on our chat check on our YouTube side here when we come back for the tail end of the second intermission report. Comment your thoughts on today's game in the live stream, and we'll get to it on the other side of the break. This is Gladiators Hockey on the Gladiators Broadcast Network.
This Thanksgiving, you can count on Kroger. You get up high quality and down low prices. Up high quality with our exclusive brands and down low prices on all your Thanksgiving needs. Because at Kroger, quality and low prices always come together. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Welcome back to Gas South Arena. Still no score through 2 periods of play. We're getting set for third period action here from Gas South. Should be a very exciting, very high stakes and dramatic third period with no score on the scoreboard, and the Gladiators looking to keep their perfect record intact. They will start the third period on the penalty kill, a full 2 minutes with Alex Young in the box for a penalty at the end of the second period called for tripping. Let's take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard here and see what's going on around the ECHL. Indy up 3-0 over Kalamazoo after 2 periods of play. Maine 4-1 over Reading after 2 periods. Trois-Rivières and Greensboro are tied 2-2 through 2. And the Tulsa Oilers have a 1-0 lead over the Wichita Thunder after 1 period of play. And through 1 period in Wheeling, West Virginia, the Norfolk Admirals have a 2-1 lead over the Nailers. So it looks like here today, only one South Division game going on, and it's ours. So the Gladiators coming into today currently sit at the top of their division. First place in the South, 5-0 record, has them at 10 points. Right behind them is Jacksonville, who currently tied for first. They also have 5 wins. They are 5-2. We'll see the Icemen over at VyStar Memorial Coliseum for Jacksonville over next week on Friday. And then the Gladiators will go to Savannah on Saturday to take on the Ghost Pirates again. But before all that, we'll see the Greenville Swamp Rabbits here on Wednesday afternoon. More so, actually, you know what? Wednesday morning, 10:30 in the morning, we will see the Swamp Rabbits in this building. And the reason for that early start time is because it is the Education Day game. So the kids will all come out for a field trip, pack the Coliseum here with all the kiddos, and they will get to enjoy a hockey game when they would normally be in school. So a lot of fun to be had this week.
Yeah, that's so much better than being in school.
And so we'll see how the week fares for the Gladiators. But first they have to get through this game. Atlanta, still no goals on the board, but things have been working in their favor through the first 5 games of the season. And we'll see if they can get back to their bread and butter here in the third period. As the stage is set for an exciting third period of play. The Gladiators looking to keep their perfect record intact. Stingrays looking to improve to 5-2. Another South Division showdown here today on a Sunday afternoon, and we wouldn't have it any other way. Mitch Gibson has been fantastic so far here today for South Carolina, stopping 19 of 19. TJ Semptenfelter right there with him, stopping 12 of 12 through 40 minutes of play. Do a quick another chat check here before we take another break. Talked about the bread is traditionally square-wise sandwich meat round in the first intermission. Christina says, did you notice they sell 12 hot dogs in a pack but only 8 buns at a time? You guys are asking the real questions. We really don't know why that's the case. Maybe it's an entire ploy to sell more hot dogs and more buns. I don't really know, but what I do know is that we've got an exciting third period coming up in store. We've run out of things to talk about. We'll be back after this here on the Gladiators Broadcast Network.
Desserts are popping up on Crumble's menu.
All types of dessert.
than just cookies.
The lineup changing weekly.
Desserts now in rotation.
The stage is set. We're back for third period action between the Gladiators and the Stingrays. No score through 40 minutes of play. Looking for a little bit more here in the third period. Andrew, yesterday was pretty fun. We got a lot of running gun action here today. Bit of a sleepy Sunday. Not a whole lot to talk about through 40 minutes of play. Defensive stalemate. And, you know, usually when you see two teams that haven't seen each other in a while, this is the first meeting between these two squads this season. It's a bit of a feeling out process, and we saw that a little bit against Savannah, but that game quickly jump-started into action, and then everything kind of just flowed from there. Today, it's kind of been more of a laid-back kind of game, very defensive, very tight-knit, a lot of dump and chase. How much longer can this feeling out process go on for, or is this just what we're in store for when these two teams meet this season?
Yeah, you know, honestly, I feel like this is the way that South Carolina wants to play hockey. You know, they want to clog you into neutral zone. They want to force you to dump it. They want to force you to forecheck. And honestly, we talked about in the second intermission report, the Gladiators can play a lot of different ways. You know, if this is the way that they want to play, the Gladiators can hang with them. But I'd like to see the Gladiators push the offense a little bit. I feel like the Gladiators are faster than South Carolina, especially that second line, who we haven't talked a lot about. You know, we raved about them, or at least I did, in our opening weekend. That line of Lind, Francis, and Boudon. I'd like to see that line. You know, it's a really quick line. I'd like to see them use their speed to kind of push a more offensive agenda here for the Gladiators, but they got to kill off this penalty first.
The depth may be the key for the Gladiators here today, and seems like at this point you're just looking for somebody to step up. In the first two periods, we talked about how it might be the big stars, Sylvester, McNamee, everybody on the first line. But now at this point, you just need somebody to make a play. And so you talk about that second line, and really the key is, can they be consistent? Louis Boudon has been that guy for the Gladiators this season. Point per game player, 1 goal and 4 assists in his first 5 games. He centers that line with Lind and Francis as the first line is out there to start the third period for the Gladiators. And check that, my mistake, the Gladiators are on the penalty kill to start. So Cipolone, Matier, Nychuk, and Denemy, as a shot from Wilkins goes wide of Sentenfelter, out there to start the third period. Here's a shorthanded dance, Denemy all alone, score! It's another shorthanded goal for Atlanta. In back-to-back games, it's Denemy with the score. Atlanta leads 1-0.
You said it, guy. You just needed someone to make a play here. And Joey Cipolone with a great forecheck on the penalty kill, slides it over to a wide open Denemy, and he goes high glove, and the Gladiators got a quick lead here in this third period.
Unbelievable. The Gladiators with another shorthanded goal. That's 3 shorthanded goals in their last 2 games. Had 2 yesterday on the same penalty kill against Savannah. They've done it again here today. This time it's Carson Denemy with the shorthanded tally for Atlanta. And we finally have a goal on the board. I believe Denemy did have 2 shorthanded goals last season. He gets one here today. Denemy, that is his first goal of the season, entered today with 2 assists. And today, that might be the biggest play of the game. That goal comes 20 seconds into the third period. Stingrays still on the man advantage. From the right side, South Carolina wheels it around. Fusco working his way in on the left wing wall. Gets it to the line, and across they go to Rodzinski. Can't hold it in at the line. Gladiators able to pressure them back out to the neutral zone. 23 seconds left on the penalty to Alex Young. Robilotti from his own end wall tosses it over to the far wing. Puck snakes its way over to the near corner. 5 seconds left on the penalty. Robilotti pounds it around all the way down near Gibson. It's a successful clear again for the Gladiators. And a shorthanded goal to put them up by 1.
Another great kill there by the Gladiators. Stingrays having nothing in the Gladiators' defensive zone there. Just absolutely love what I see from this Gladiators power play this weekend, or penalty kill this weekend.
And now we get to see the Gladiators play with the lead against a defensive-minded Stingrays team. Cipollone to the middle. Sylvester was in front looking for a deflection chance. Ended up hitting a Stingray and going back out to center. Gladiators in their own end. Whack it back out to Stingray ice and get a line change in. The Gladiators have now scored first in 5 straight games. The only game that they did not score first in was the comeback win against Utah on opening night right here in this building. Stingrays tapping off the end wall, centering feed broken up by Les and Boudon. Kupka slides it down. Semptimphelter out to play it. Left for Brendan Les. Looks up ice. He's going to take his time. And we get to see the defensive formation here for the Stingrays open up. Les to the left side. Tries to hit Francis. Stingrays get in front of that a bit, so the Gladiators forced to backtrack into their own end. And dangerously, Conroy skates in front of his own net and got tripped up. No call. Here's Bernard cutting towards the net. Semptimphelter takes away the angle.
Yeah, tough play for Conroy there, trying to get out of his own zone. Kind of locked skates with the South Carolina attacker. Led to a good chance there for South Carolina, but Semptimphelter doing a good job stepping up out of his crease and cutting off the angle there.
TJ Semptimphelter was phenomenal in the first start of the game in his last outing. The 2-0 victory over the Florida Everblades. We're going to need him to do that again here today as he fights off a shot from Guzzo. Semptimphelter stopped 25 of 25 that night for his first professional shutout. And again, the Gladiators are going to need him to hold firm. They're going to walk out of the building with another victory here today. Puck over on the far side half wall of the South Carolina zone. Atlanta quickly up to the right point, finds Mateer. Across he goes to Nychuk. Some open space. He shoots. It's blocked. Getting a stick on it was Fusco. Walter digs his way down deep below the goal line. From behind the net, converged in on by 2 Stingrays. Tries to squeak on free. Big body Isaac Walter tries to touch it over to Alex Young. Play will be directed over to the far corner. Puck leaks out, and dumping it out is Bolson. Stingrays get a change. Whistle with 14:46 left in the third. But Andrew, we finally got it. The Gladiators on the board, and go figure, the trend continues. Shorthanded goal.
Yeah, Guy, you said, we said earlier today, it was going to be a mistake that's going to end up in in the back of someone's net that was going to open up this game. And it was a tough turnover by South Carolina on the power play to Joey Cipollone that led to the Denemy goal there.
Neutral zone face-off won by the Gladiators. Jarvis tries to come barging in on the near side, but the Stingrays having none of it. Shot from the right point, blocked in front of Semptimphelter. Les, off the stick of Burns, out to neutral ice. Nolan strips it away from Dealstra. Leaves it for Burns. Around the horn he goes to the right point to Conroy. Trying to return it to Burns, but it goes off a stick and into the corner. Scardino is there for the Gladiators, touches it back to Burns. Takes in the return pass below the goal line and is quickly mobbed by Stan Cooley. Scardino working hard below the goal line. Has to toss it to the left point for Robilotti, but could not keep the play alive, and so it's a change for the Gladiators. As Conroy streaks back up ice, and here is Ryan Conroy moving with speed. Leaves it for Sylvester. He'll go around the net. Cody Sylvester won't get a chance to shoot. The net comes off behind Gibson after two Stingrays collided with each other, and the play comes to an end. 13:33 left in the third period. The Gladiators have the lead. Carson Denemy's first goal of the year is a short-handed tally. 20 seconds into the third period, it has Atlanta up by 1. We're back in a moment here on the Gladiators Broadcast Network.
This Thanksgiving, you can count on Kroger. You get up high quality and down low prices. Up high quality with our exclusive brands and down low prices on all your Thanksgiving needs. Because at Kroger, quality and low prices always come together. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
The Gladiators have scored four short-handed goals this year. The first one was scored by Mickey Burns in the second game of the year. 2 more were added last night against the Savannah Ghost Pirates. And you get one more here today from Carson Denemy that makes it a 1-0 lead for the Gladiators. Andrew, we talked about it at the top of the period. Somebody needed to step up. It ends up being Carson Denemy. Gladiators getting help from their depth.
Yeah, this Gladiators penalty kill has been more lethal than their power play here this weekend. You know, they're having a tough weekend on the power play, so might as well just score a couple shorties here, you know?
Oddball stat, but it is true. Carson Denemy. Talked to him during the offseason about being a penalty killer. That was a role that he kind of took on towards the end of last season. Said he actually really enjoyed being a penalty killer. I'm sure he's grinning from ear to ear after that one because Gladiators did get the successful kill. Denemy scores the short-handed goal. And the Gladiators have the lead. Atlanta when scoring. Oh, here's a chance for Stipalone. Score!
Just a great
Gladiators.
Great play by Cipollone. Off the draw there. South Carolina wins the draw back. Meyer, the defenseman, takes a spill. Cipollone there to pick up the loose puck. Goes in on a breakaway and fires one low blocker. And the Gladiators take a 2-0 lead here.
Joey Cipollone with goals in back-to-back games. Able to just sidestep his way on in, pick his spot. 2 goals in his last 2 goals on the season for Cipollone. And the Gladiators have a 2-0 lead with 13:23 left in the third. So South Carolina staring down the barrel of a 2-goal hole. First, it was a shorthanded goal from Carson Denemy. Now, it's a 5-on-5 goal from Joey Cipollone. Coming 6:32 into the third period, assisted by Mike McNamee to make it a 2-goal game. Cipollone factored in on the first goal as well. He did get credited with the assist on Denemy's shorthanded goal. So it's a 1-goal and 1-assist game so far for Cipollone as we have a penalty here with 12:39 left in the third. You really can't blink in these kind of games, can you?
Nope. Just right off that draw there. McNamee pushes the faceoff forward. Meyer takes a spill back there. It's a just a tough bounce for South Carolina there. Meyer taking that spill there. And Cipollone making no mistake there, going low blocker. But a great shift here by Kalen Lynn, using his speed to get to the outside, draw the penalty there, and Fusco takes him down, and the Gladiators head back to the power play here. I'd like to see their power play get going here. You know, they've had a tough weekend on the power play. We'd like to see them put one in the back of the net here.
Gladiators on the equal electric power play for the 4th time today. Have a chance to spot their lead to 3.
Yep, they're starting with this second unit here.
At the right point, it is Matier. Feeds it to the left wing for Walter. Walter across, wanted Lynn, but defensive stick there by Nolan Krenzen. Able to push the puck out of play. I think I've learned my lesson this weekend. You can't ever look down at your notes. It seems like every time I do, somebody's stolen the puck away and the Gladiators score. Won't do that again, as here's Matier to the right point for Walter. Quick pass to Young, right circle across. Cipollone, another try on the one-timer. And that is stopped by Gibson.
It's a great look by Alex Young there. Going across ice to Cipollone. Cipollone backs out a little bit, opens up the passing lane for himself. Nice pass by Young and a good one-timer there by Cipollone, but just couldn't finish it.
Stretch pass doesn't connect. It's an icing on the Gladiators. Kalen Lynn trying to argue the case, but back down we go near TJ Semptimphelter, and hold on a moment. A scuffle right in front of the South Carolina bench. Now everybody wants a piece of it. Alex Young right in the thick of it. Obviously exchanging a few words with the Stingrays. Not sure any of that is family friendly, so I'm not even going to try and guess what he said, but it was probably something not very nice. And so now we'll see if anything comes out of this. Gladiators still in the power play for the next minute and 24 seconds if nothing is called here, with 12:03 left in the 3rd.
Looks like we're not going to have anything out of this here. We're going to stay 5-on-4 for the Gladiators here.
Good news for the Gladiators.
Coach Ginn doesn't look too happy. I think he wanted to call on South Carolina there because it looked like they started that. Young was skating back to his end of the ice for the icing. Skating by the Stingrays bench and he got jumped.
Matt Ginn, hands in the air, looking for a call. Nope. Doesn't get it. And so the Stingrays win the offensive zone face-off and quickly backpedal to shave off as much time as they can. And mail it back down to Semptimphelter. 1:10 left on the Atlanta power play. Young gets stopped on the zone entry. South Carolina able to trickle off more time. 50 seconds left on this Atlanta man advantage. Now it's Matier to start the breakout for the Gladiators. Drop pass, Walter weaves his way to the high slot, feeds it across for a shot by Boudon that's blocked. Nychuk takes it in at the right point. Drifting towards his left, Nychuk feeds it to the right circle. Lind to Walter. Back up top to Nychuk, winds and fires, and it's blocked.
What a great block there by Guzzo, diving out onto all fours and just blocking that with his leg.
Nychuk with a bomb from the blue line. Good job by Guzzo to get in front of that and block it. Waning moments of the power play for Atlanta. Sylvester cross ice. Nobody home. Stingrays get it out to center. And we are back to even strength. Nychuk from the deep end. Brushes it towards his right side for Conroy. He'll get to the red line and pelt it around to the left wing for Boudon. Spins it back the other way. Sylvester overskates it and gets slammed down behind the play by Howardchuk. And a whistle here. Looks like the Stingrays were offside with 10:17 left in the 3rd.
Yeah, if you're Coach Ginn here, you got to be happy with this 3rd period for the Gladiators so far. You know, you don't score on the power play there. That's a different issue that they got to deal with right now. But you know, you got 2 quick goals here to open up this 3rd period. They've broken this game wide open. You got to love it if you're coach.
Maybe just got to go back to the penalty kill again.
Might as well.
Seems like that's working for the Gladiators in terms of scoring. 4 shorthanded goals this year. Here's a steal by Nolan. On the backhand, deals it up top. Robilotti across to Conroy. A little too far ahead, but Conroy trying to make something out of it. Able to touch it a couple of times, but the Stingrays do possess deep in their own end and work their way back out to center. Howard Chuck flings it around the boards. Meaning it is Conroy on the near side. He gets slammed off the puck, but the Gladiators take it in stride. Scardina down the left wing. Divorce from the puck, leaks out to center. Jarvis fresh off the bench, collects it for Atlanta. Under 10 minutes left in the third period. Gladiators lead 2-0. Stingrays dump it in. Les gets there, puck pinballs out in front of Semptimphelter. Shot for Fusco, and it goes high and wide. Stingrays looking to come alive here. They really haven't shown much offensively in this game. Developing 3-on-2 for Atlanta. Denemy to the middle, looking for Walter. Out of the reach of Young as it's poked away by Gibson. Puck stays in the zone. Jarvis juggles it at the blue line. Drops it down below the goal line, and South Carolina will have it. They'll look up ice. They're down by 2. We'll see how aggressive the Stingrays get here. Again, they've still not scored in today's game. They didn't score yesterday. It's been a long time since South Carolina last scored a goal. They're going to need at least 2 here if they want to walk out of this building with a victory. Gladiators at the edge in the third. 2-0 your score. We're back after this with 8:46 left in the third period.
Desserts are popping up on Crumble's menu.
All types of dessert.
More than just cookies.
Lineup changing weekly.
Desserts now in rotation.
Gladiators are up by 2. Shorthanded goal from Carson Denemy, followed by a goal from Joey Cipollone. His second in as many games has made it a 2-0 Atlanta lead here with 8:46 left in the third period. Center circle face-off. Pinballs around a bit, gathered by the Stingrays. And South Carolina needs something offensively. Been a while since they've last scored. Did not score last night in Greenville in a 4-0 shutout loss. No goals here today. Last time they scored was in a 4-2 win over Orlando on the 29th of October. Kupka gets stymied on the zone entry. Cipollone weaves his way ahead, taps it off the end while McNamee gets to it first. Beats out Mayer to the puck. Nychuk across. Conroy is there. Puts it on the right pad of Gibson, who steers it aside. South Carolina with it. They'll shovel it into Gladiator territory. 7:45 left in the third. Conroy flings it into no man's land. South Carolina whips it down. Semptimphelter will shuffle it over to the near side boards, looking for an open man. Doesn't get there. Shot from the right point by Fusco goes wide. Stingrays putting on the pressure here with the forecheck. Conroy sidesteps Howardchuk. Lyndon Breen out there on the forecheck for South Carolina. Turnover here for the Gladiators, and a backhand chance from Breen is shrugged away by Semptimphelter. Cooley tried to reconnect with Breen. Robilotti got in front of that. Now Lind will skate it out of his own zone, and he collides with the Stingray at the blue line. He stood up. Roman Rodzinski And a skirmish out of all that. And play continued to roll. A shot by Cooley is eaten up by Semptimphelter. So got a lot going on at once. Start to save from Semptimphelter. Coming in on the right side. Shot there. Semptimphelter to save. In the meanwhile, in front of the Gladiators bench, you've got blood boiling. A skirmish over there. Andrew, what did we see on that play?
Yeah, you know, it looks like big hit in the neutral zone with Lind. Puck gets chipped in deep. He's trying to go off to the bench. Goes a little cross check, you know, and then boys get going. You love to see it here, you know. It's been a long weekend, you know. South Carolina got shut out last night. They're getting... I'm not going to say anything about what's happening today so far. I'm not even going to say the word. But they are losing right now today.
I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say the word.
No, you can't say the word. But, you know, South Carolina, they're not happy right now. You know, they got to try and get something going, try and stir up a little momentum here.
It starts with an S and ends with a T, but it's not that one you're thinking of. It's the other one. TJ Semptimphelter having a good night. That's all I'll say on that. Meanwhile, Mickey Burns across to Jarvis over the red line. He'll gain the attacking zone, leaves it for Scardina, who fires high and wide. Rebound off the stick of Mickey Burns over from corner to corner. Stingrays grab it, and with 6:30 to go in the third, start to keep an eye on Gibson here, as long as the Stingrays still need a few goals. A little bit early for that, but we've seen some coaches be aggressive. We'll see how aggressive first-year coach Dave Warsofsky here in South Carolina wants to be with his team down by 2. Meanwhile, Scardina taps it off his own wall, gets it out to center, snatched up by Moore for South Carolina. Keep in mind, the Stingrays did dress 7 defensemen here today and 11 forwards. Jarvis up to the neutral zone. Burns gets shoved in the back. Fans wanting a call on that play. None to be had. And now Les from behind Semptimphelter has some time to think. 5:37 and counting left in the third. Denemy across to Walter. Off the wall to Young. Right side shot steered away by Gibson. Rebound comes to Denemy as Young below the goal line. He's able to shrug off a hit. Puck rolls in on Gibson. And if it's time out on the ice, we'll take one as well. 5:12 left in the third period. Gladiators up by 2. We'll find out how this one ends when we come back to Gas South Arena after this.
All right, Glad fans, this Thanksgiving, you can count on Kroger. You get up high quality and down low prices. Up high quality with our exclusive brands and down low prices on all your Thanksgiving needs. Because at Kroger, quality and low prices always come together. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Gladiators up by 2. 5:12 left in the third period. Atlanta leads South Carolina 2-0. If the Gladiators can hang on for the next 5 minutes and 12 seconds, they'll improve to 6-0 and welcome the Greenville Swamp Rabbits to town on Wednesday morning with still the only perfect record in the ECHL. A lot that has to happen between now and then to get to that point, but so far so good for Matt Ginn's crew. At the right point, Mateer flings it towards the goal, skittered wide of Gibson. Held in by Nydchuk. Shot goes wide off the blocker of Gibson. Walter has to brush it towards the middle for Denemy. Stingray's able to get in front of it. And here's a steal by Young. Gladiators being very pesky here as the Stingrays trying to set something up offensively. Down by 2, but nothing forthcoming yet as a shot from Wilkins goes into the glove of Semptimphelter, his 17th of the night. And now afterwards, more temper starting to flare. Keep in mind, these two teams will see each other again relatively soon. November 14th, we will be in South Carolina, in Charleston, for the third game of the 4-game road trip. So after the Gladiators welcome Greenville to town on Wednesday morning, they'll go to Jacksonville on Friday, Savannah on Saturday, and then next Friday, the Gladiators will go to South Carolina to play the Stingrays again. And the next night, they are back in Jacksonville before they head back home on the 22nd to host Greenville. That is the road ahead for the Gladiators. 4:36 left in the third period. Face off to the left of Semptimphelter. Gibson still between the pipes for the Stingrays. McNamee and company work their way into the attacking zone. Miscue on the exchange from Cipollone to Sylvester. Stingrays will pummel the puck in. Try and get something going offensively. Not going to happen on that play. The Gladiators will ice the puck with 4:11 left in the third. So, Andrew, you think about the time that's left on the clock. Gladiators just ice the puck here. Some tired bodies on the ice. McNamee's hunched over. Stingrays win this face-off. They score here. It's a game.
Oh, yeah.
And so this next sequence is going to be very critical for the Gladiators. What do they need to do?
You got to win this face-off. You got to get out of your zone clean. Or you just need to win this face-off, get a little chip out into the neutral zone, get these tired bodies off the ice. That's your main goal right now. Get the puck out, try to get it out without icing it again, and get a fresh change here. That's what you're looking to do here off this draw. But if you can get a clean exit, get into the neutral zone, get over the red line, and dump it in deep here and get a change, that would be ideal for the Gladiators here.
Atlanta able to win the defensive zone draw, and here is Cipollone. A goal and an assist here today. Chops it down below the goal line and is in hot pursuit. Under 4 minutes left in regulation.
Yeah, we just talked about it. That's exactly what the Gladiators wanted to do off that face-off. Nice face-off win there. Clean exit out of their zone and able to get the puck in deep here. You know, you're playing with a 2-0 lead here. That's all you need to do here. You gained the red line. You got nothing. Chip it in deep.
Stingrays drive it in. Gibson waving towards the bench. There he goes. Extra attacker on for South Carolina. 3:25 left in regulation. Stingrays have it at the right point, and Mayer can't keep it in. He fumbled it. And right after him is Francis. Gladiators aggressive there, which is not unusual from number 86.
Yeah, another tough fumble there for Mayer at the point. Remember, he had the fumble on the Cipollone goal.
Now here's Lind being pesky. Trying to create a turnover with the net wide open. Makes his way to the end wall, but the Stingrays escape. Under 3 minutes to go. Wilkins down the middle. Clustered up by 3 Gladiators. Puck forced to the outside. Wilkins pinned up in the near corner. Puck is lifted free. And again, the Stingrays with another miscue. They can't keep it in. So they're forced to once again regroup in their own end. Bolson being pestered by Burns. Look at this Gladiator forecheck here. Down a man. Here's a turnover. Ryan Nolan, net empty, shoots, blocked by Mayer. Makes up for his mistake earlier. Still a 2-goal game with 2:20 left in regulation. Stingrays come in. They'll try and brush it to the left side. Active stick from Scardina breaks it up. Puck goes below the goal line. Mateers there for Atlanta. Pinned up against the boards. Puck bumbling around. Leaps up into the air, slapped to the right point, and this time, Rodzinski keeps it in. Howardchuk being pressured by Scardina. Gladiators trying to jam the puck out. Stingrays keep it in. Cross-ice pass, intercepted. Nychuk to the empty net, just a hair wide. It's an icing on Atlanta with 1:48 to go.
You know, you love going for the empty net when you get a chance there. But, you know, Nychuk had possession. He had guys with him. You know, you'd like to just skate that puck out of the zone and get over the red line, and then you can go for the empty net without taking an icing there. but I think we got a timeout here for the Stingrays.
We do. Dave Warsofsky has called his timeout, letting his top guns get a bit of a breather here, but I've been really impressed with this Gladiators forecheck here. 6-on-5 situation, they're not fazed by it at all. They've been very aggressive, and South Carolina, with a couple of lucky breaks there, really should be a 3-0 game at this point. Gladiators had a couple of chances to score in the empty net, but they have not been able to do it. But South Carolina feels like they're playing on their heels a bit here in the final 3 minutes of the game.
Yeah, the Gladiators are doing a really good job of making it difficult for the Stingrays to exit their zone clean. Because you know you're going 6-on-5 here. You want to be able to exit your zone and establish possession in the attacking zone. You don't want to have to dump it in and go get it. You want to be able to establish good control of the puck here. But the Gladiators aren't even giving them a chance to get out into the neutral zone here with the great forecheck. And the Stingrays are just having to circle back to try and get out of their zone here. The Gladiators doing a great job of killing that clock here.
Face off to the right of Semptimfelter. Gladiators win it. Scardina did the deed in the circle, wins it for the Gladiators. They chip it out. Stingrays again have to start from their own end. They'll try and come in on the left side. They work their way in. Kupka to the middle. Shot by Wilkins. High and wide. Tapped off the end wall. Rebound gathered by Bolson. Forced to the blue line by Burns, but the puck stays in. Cross-ice feed. Shot and a score. Simon Pinard makes things interesting with 1:18 to go. It's a 2-1 game.
Yeah, that play starts with a great keep in at the point from Connor Moore there. Puck gets chipped down. Ends up on Pinard's stick, and he goes shelf on Semptimfelter. We got an interesting game here now with 1:18 left, guy.
So 78 seconds left in regulation. TJ Semptimfelter is finally beat. Almost went 6 full periods without allowing a goal, but actually it would have been 7 as he didn't allow a goal in the last game against Utah that he played, or his first of the year. But the South Carolina Stingrays finally figure it out. They go upstairs for the score. Pinard has the goal, his 4th of the year. So, Stingrays win the face-off. They dump it back in. Gives it back to the bench. 6-on-5 again. Left point shot, deflected in front of Semptimfelter. We'll see how much poise he has now with the lead cut in half. Under a minute to go. Wilkins from the right point, serves it down low. Kupka back up to Wilkins. He'll shoot, and it's gloved up by Semptimfelter. 46.3 to go.
You know, that's a great save by Semptimfelter there. Shot from the point by Wilkins. Semptimfelter doing good to get his glove on it and smother that puck, not giving up a rebound. Giving the Gladiators a chance to change and reset here and try and finish this game out strong.
Face off to the right of Semptimfelter. Boudon will take it against Kupka. Kupka wins it. Rodzinski across. Takes in the return pass, feeds it towards his right. Wilkins one-timer, far out by Semptimfelter. 36 to go. Wilkins plays it up top. Rodzinski across. One-time shot. It's shanked. Fed to the middle. Broken up by Conroy. He carries it to the end wall. 25 seconds left. At the right point, Rodzinski feeds it down low to Wilkins. Rotates up high. Wilkins to the high slot. Back to the right circle. One time by Pinard. Blocked in front. It's loose in front of Semptimfelter. And swept away with 10 seconds to go. Up top, Rodzinski drifting towards his left. Time dwindling down. Rodzinski holding 2 seconds. One-timer. It's blocked. And the Gladiators hang on to win for a 2-1 victory.
What a huge block by Louis Baudon there with about 3 seconds left on the one-timer from the point, sacrificing his body to get this win for the Gladiators. That is huge. That is selfless by Louis Baudon. You love to see guys sacrificing their body to get the win there. That's got me fired up.
The Gladiators laid it all out on the line here, especially in the final moments of the game. They remain the only unbeaten team in the ECHL. The Atlanta Gladiators are now 6-0 to start the season. A 2-1 victory over the South Carolina Stingrays. And Atlanta just cannot be beat. TJ Sentenfelter stops 19 of 20. Mitch Gibson with a good game, stops 21 of 23, but a shorthanded goal from Denemy, another one from Cipollone, ends up being the difference. And the Gladiators remain on top. For all of you watching on Peachtree Sports Network, that concludes today's broadcast. Thank you for watching this presentation of the ECHL. I'm Guy Chiarenza saying good night and so long. We'll see you back again here next time. For those of you on YouTube and Flow Sports, we'll be back for a moment for the 3 stars of the game and the post-game show here from Gas South Arena. Once again, your final score, Atlanta 2, South Carolina 1.
Desserts are popping up on crumble shake.
All types of dessert.
More than just cookies.
The lineup changing weekly.
Desserts now in rotation.
The Gladiators have done it again. 2-1 victory over the South Carolina Stingrays. They prove they can win in a variety of ways. In one goal contest here today, they get the job done again. Your 3 stars of the game. Number 35, TJ Sentenfelter almost had a shutout here today. Stops 19 of 20, but he is your 3rd star of the game. He was great when he needed to be. TJ Sentenfelter, spectacular again.
Yeah, I thought Sentenfelter came up huge after the Stingrays scored the goal to make it a 2-1 game. The entire last minute was in the Gladiators' end, and Sentenfelter made some really big saves to preserve the victory there.
For the first goal here today, Carson Denemy breaks the deadlock 20 seconds into the 3rd period. A shorthanded tally. His first goal of the season has earned him 2nd star honors. Denemy showed up, and the Gladiators needed a hero. Got them on the scoreboard, and everything flowed from there. Good work here today from number 18 from Atlanta.
Denemy super patient with the puck there on his goal. Got a great pass from Cipollone. Was able to just walk it in and pick his spot, high glove.
And your first star here today, with a game-winning goal and an assist, Joey Cipollone. 2 goals and 1 assist in his last 2 games. 1 goal, 1 assist here today. Joey Cipollone, your number 1 star of the game. He is ringside with Miss Emma Harp. See if we can tap in here.
What did you see on your goal tonight?
Obviously had a lot of time and space and really played aggressive, so just tried to beat it with a good shot. Unfortunately was able to make a goal for us.
Amazing. Well, I also want to ask you about the short-handed goal from Denemy. How did that work out?
Yeah, we kind of knew that it kind of take your time back there, so just we and our pretty aggressive players and we were able to steal a puck from them and then make a great shot, so yeah.
Incredible. Now, we want to comment on TJ's performance. I mean, any words for him?
Yeah, he's a rock star back there. He's got a lot of confidence, he puts the work in, and definitely makes our job a lot easier to have him back there. So definitely a well-deserved performance by him, and definitely celebrate for sure.
Incredible. Congratulations, fans. Let's give him another round of applause.
Very nicely done, Emma, and thank you. We want to say good night to everybody. Fans, thank you for joining us today at the Gas South Arena. We look forward to having you back on Wednesday when the 6-0 Gladiators take on the Greenville Squadrons. There you go.
And so there you have it. Joey Cipollone is your first star of the game. 1 goal and 1 assist. Does get the game winner. And the Gladiators find a way to do it again. They're 6-0, Andrew. Every situation that they've been thrown at and been put in, they found a way. And today, a low-scoring affair, no goals for the first 2 periods, and then they finally find a way in the 3rd. And again, just like last night, it's just in the most unlikely and unusual way that you could ever imagine, another shorthanded goal to get them on the board, and everything kind of flowed from there.
Yeah, I mean, you said it perfectly, Guy. Any way you want to play, the Gladiators are going to play with you. You know, they can play run and gun. They can play a little scrappy game. They can play a little slower game where you got to get a little gritty, you got to dig deep. But, you know, I love what I saw from this team today and just this whole weekend and this whole season to start so far. This has been awesome. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun to watch this team just play any way you want to.
The Gladiators have done it again. 6-0 on the season with their 2-1 victory here today over the Stingrays. Here's how it all broke down. So no scoring for the first 2 periods. Gladiators were put on the power play, penalty kill. PK has been great throughout the last few games, and really to start the season, it is one of the best units in the league, and it definitely proved that here today. Then the Gladiators go back on the penalty kill to start the 3rd period, and everyone's thinking, all right, well, big kill here. Stingrays have a chance to take the lead, and, you know, we should have learned our lesson after last night. The penalty kill, it's been great at doing what it does, killing, but it's also been really good at scoring, as you touched on in the 3rd period. The penalty kill has outscored the power play over the last few games. It does it again here today. It's a shorthanded goal from Carson Denemy, 20 seconds into the 3rd period. That breaks the ice. Joey Cipollone gets the lone assist on the goal, and Denemy's tally gives the Gladiators the lead. The Atlanta Gladiators have scored the first goal in their last 5 games. The only game that they did not was in the season opener against Utah, which they came back to win in overtime. So now the Gladiators are playing with the lead, and what we saw for the first 40 minutes here in this game was a lot of dump and chase action. Very slow-moving game. Kind of just play moving at a crawl, dump in here, dump in there, and, you know, trying to find every which way to find a new way to describe a dump in, not to sound like a broken record. Then you get to the 3rd period, Denemy scores, and the game kind of shifted into a little bit of a different pace from that because the Gladiators were now playing with the lead. And they played with the lead they did. They did not look back after that. Joey Cipollone buries one 6:32 into the 3rd period from Mike McNamee. Barry had a chance to look at it. You know, silly me, I'm looking at my nose trying to go off some random stat, and then I look up, Cipollone's got the puck, he scores. So I'll ask you, what did you see on that goal from Cipollone?
Yeah, so it was a face-off right outside the Stingray zone. McNamee pushes the face-off forward. Meyer, the defenseman for the Stingrays, he just toe-picked, you know, he lost an edge. Cipollone right there, Johnny on the spot, or Joey on the spot, I should say.
Joey on the spot.
There to pick up the puck, you know, it's a clear breakaway. He picks his spot, low blocker on Gibson, give the Gladiators a 2-0 lead there.
And they had the 2-0 lead, and then South Carolina makes things a little interesting, don't they? 1:18 left in regulation. Simon Pinard buries his 4th goal of the season from Kupka and Moore to make it a 1-goal game, 2-1 at that point. And the Stingrays were finally buzzing in the final 1 minute and 18 seconds. That was the best that South Carolina looked offensively all game long, and so the Gladiators, in a 6-on-5 situation, they surrender 1 goal, but they bend but don't break. The Gladiators lay their bodies on the line. Louis Boudon with a big block at the end of regulation. A couple of key saves from TJ Semptimphelter as well. And the Atlanta Gladiators just get down the building with another win. They are 6-0 to start the season. Special teams factoring in again. Atlanta's penalty kill, 3 for 3 today, including a shorthanded goal. Power play goes 0 for 4, but they didn't need it.
Nope.
And that's the thing about this Atlanta Gladiators team. While they've been really good special teams-wise this season, they haven't always needed it. They haven't always had to rely on it. They have been able to score goals 5-on-5 like we saw today with Cipollone. They've gotten great goaltending, whether it's Hyder or Semptimphelter. Really feels like a 1A, 1B situation. They've alternated starts ever since the start of the season. Tonight was Semptimphelter's 3rd, this being the Gladiators' 6th game. So I'm interested to see who gets the start on Wednesday as we turn our sights to the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. So Greenville coming off the victory yesterday, 4-0 over these same South Carolina Stingrays. Do you think the South Carolina Stingrays, I mean, they looked like a pretty good team here today, but it feels like they're playing below expectations because last year they won the Brabham Cup, best team in the regular season. Here today, showed flashes of it, but it feels like they're a little different this year. I'm curious to see how South Carolina goes moving from this, especially after losing to Greenville, who we will see on Wednesday. What did you like about South Carolina's game here today?
Yeah, we talked about it earlier today. You know, they clogged up the neutral zone really well. They were forcing the Gladiators to gain the red line and dump it in, or they were forcing turnovers in the neutral zone and going the other way. So I like the way that the Stingrays played in the neutral zone. I mean, we said it. This game was going to be won by someone making a mistake, and we saw 2 bad turnovers by the Stingrays that ended up in the back of their own net. So overall, I thought, the Stingrays, they didn't generate a lot on offense, only 20 shots on goal here today, and I feel like maybe 3 to 5 of those shots on goal came with the goalie pulled 6-on-5 in the last few minutes there. But, I thought the Stingrays played a good defensive game besides those 2 mistakes that they made on the Gladiators' goal. They did a good job of keeping the Gladiators to the outside, especially at 5-on-5. On the power play, it's a little tougher when you only have 3 or 4 guys out there to defend. But I thought at 5-on-5, the Stingrays did a really good job keeping the Gladiators to the perimeter. I didn't really think the Gladiators had many high-danger chances at 5-on-5 besides the Cipollone goal.
Yeah, the Stingrays do fall to 4-3, but, let's not overlook the fact that they were a very formidable opponent here today, and I would think that right up there with that game against the Florida Everblades last Friday, I think this was the Gladiators' biggest test to this point, put in a very defensive battle, and the Gladiators are able to find a way to break through that and win. So now we turn our attention to Greenville on Wednesday. You think about the start time, 10:30 a.m. in the morning. That is a tough game to get up for, and it seems like the sentiment around town and around the building is doesn't really matter what the record is on either side, whether it's the Gladiators or the Swamp Rabbits. The I-85 rivalry always delivers. These two teams always show up to play each other. I'm expecting it to be physical, and I'm expecting it to be gritty. And I think whichever team that shows up at 10:30 in the morning on Wednesday is going to be the team that ends up winning that game. The Gladiators have been able to do that this season, obviously with the 6-0 record, but you can't count out the Greenville Swamp Rabbits, who are now sitting at 3-4.
Yeah, for some of these guys, this might be the earliest game they've played since Pee-wee's. 10:30. It's like kicking it back to playing youth hockey. But yeah, it's an early start. It's a very different game because, usually we have 7 o'clock starts, we have 3 o'clock starts. You got to wake up, you got to get your body going early in the morning. You probably want to get in here early, get a good stretch in, get a good warm-up in before the game. I think warm-ups, honestly, are going to be key. But, you want to get your body going. You got to get into that game quick because it's an early start. You're not going to be super ready for it. It's hard to be super ready for it that early in the morning. You got to get in and you got to get into the game early.
The Gladiators can't overlook the Greenville Swamp Rabbits, although Greenville is off to a slow start to the year at 3-4. Because they will have a big test on the road, as that game against Greenville will be the end of the 3-game homestand. And then the Gladiators go on the road for 4, at Jacksonville, at Savannah, next weekend on the 7th and 8th, and then the next weekend again, Friday, Saturday, South Carolina and Jacksonville. So we'll see a lot. We'll see a lot of those 3 teams, Jacksonville, South Carolina, and Greenville. Get this. 11 of the next 12 games for the Gladiators are against those same 3 opponents. So we're going to get to know those 3 very, very well over the next couple of weeks. Gladiators get it done here today. 2-1 is your final score. Atlanta has done it again, baby. They are 6-0. I'm Guy Chiarenza saying good night and so long for Andrew Fleming. Thank you for watching this presentation of the ECHL. Once again, your final score, Atlanta 2, South Carolina 1. We're back again on Wednesday to welcome the Greenville Swamp Rabbits to town. 10:10 start time. Get your coffee ready. Alarms will be set, and puck drop will be at 10:30. Good night and so long.